Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know, I am a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. The most recent season, season 15, was just put on streaming for Paramount Plus, but this time with extended episode cuts for the majority of the season. For those who don't know, the reason for this was because while the season was airing, a large handful of episodes were cut down from their normal 90-minute runtime to a 60-minute runtime in order to make airtime for The Real Friends of WeHo, reality show that was so bad even my mother, who has watched literally every reality TV show known to man, refused to watch it. This caused a lot of backlash within the Drag Race fandom, mainly since the shorter runtime meant that a lot of queens ended up getting sidelined by the edit, such as Jax, Princess Poppy, and Robin Fierce barely getting seen. With these new episodes out with new storylines, I'm taking it upon myself to recap each one, as well as give my thoughts and opinions on each episode. Of course, I encourage you to watch the season on Paramount Plus. If you don't have the time or have watched the original episodes and just want the recap, I have you covered. I'll mainly be going over the storylines and challenges. I'll be skipping over some of the conversations had between the girls that are more personal if they don't give context and motivations to their stories, since this video is already going to be pretty long. If you want to see those, like I said before, I would recommend watching the episodes in full on your own. But if you just want the basics and overall storylines, then we'll get started with episode 1 and 2, One Night Only. So, this episode's a double premiere, so I'm just going to squish them into two. And we start our season off with the entrance of Irene the Alien Dubois from Seattle, Washington. Something to note is that whenever Irene talks in her confessionals, this little necklace she wears moves up and down. Somebody pointed it out on Twitter, and now I can't unsee it.
I'm Irene Dubois, I'm the Alien Queen of Seattle, and I'm here to invade your television set.
Next to enter is Lux Noir London, who has the best entrance line of the season.
Gagged them a bit, for sure.
With Lux's entrance comes the first of many scandals to come from the season, 40-inch gate. So, Irene compliments Lux's wig and jokes that it's 20 inches of premium human hair. Lux states that the wig is actually 40 inches. Trust. Irene takes another look at the wig and disagrees. The two go back and forth on this for a bit before the edit cuts to them talking about where they're from. A small spat on the show, but as somebody who was in the fandom while the show was airing, this stuff was dragged out for the entire season. Every girl from the season was asked about this wig for months, and Twitter had a field day with it the entire season. Next to walk in the room is Aura Mayari from Nashville, Tennessee. She does a little dancey dance in her entrance, but besides that, there's nothing really notable about her entrance, so we're just going to move on to the next girl, who is Marsha, who enters looking just like Cher Horowitz, and just absolutely adorable. She has a band-aid over her nose, which is a reference to her namesake, Marsha Brady, when in the Brady Bunch she got hit in the nose by a football. Marsha is a triple threat and actually appeared in the Broadway production of Kinky Boots, weaponizing her BFA. Next to walk into the workroom is Anitra from Las Vegas. Side note, but Anitra out of drag is like really hot. Like, I'm a lesbian, but like, oh my god. Anyways, her entrance isn't super notable besides that, so we'll just move on to Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, the first girl on the show to come from Miami, Florida. Malaysia's been doing drag for 13 years and has worked with people such as the City Girls. The show doesn't really spend too much time on her entrance though, so there isn't that much to say about it. Next to enter is Princess Poppy. Something to note is that Princess Poppy mentions that she has gone viral on TikTok. This will come into play later, but besides that, there's nothing really else to talk about from this entrance except for this one confessional describing Poppy's entrance look.
Princess Poppy's look is basic but effective. She looks like a lovely white lady.
So we'll move on to Mother. The Sasha Colby is next to walk into the workroom. And for those who don't know, Sasha Colby is a drag legend. She's won Miss Continental, which is the most prestigious drag pageant you can win. Before going on to Drag Race, she was already very well known in the drag scene. Everybody in the workroom knows who Sasha is when she walks in, and the confessionals of the other queens reflect that she is the competition. After Sasha Colby, we have a familiar look to those who are familiar with the Drag Race franchise. So, quick explanation, in season 6, the Queen Vivacious entered wearing the exact look as this mysterious new queen. The mannequin head on the outfit is named Ornacia, and quickly became a huge meme in the fandom. Anyways, this queen walks in wearing Vivacious's original entrance look. She struggles to get the zipper unzipped to show her face, and while she struggles, the queens look on in confusion. That is, until the zipper finally starts to work, and the queen revealed to be in the outfit is none other than Ariana Grande herself, who is here as a special judge of the premiere. And I tell y'all, this was a gag. I watched this live and screamed so loud my dorm mate, who was a room over, asked me if everything was okay. It was okay, but I was gagged. Anyways, the queens reasonably freak out, with Marcia mentioning her face is covered in Arian beauty, Ariana's makeup line. Another quick note, the extended cut of the episode actually gives a bit of extra time to focus on Marcia's reaction, since Marcia mentions in the confessional that she is literally meeting her idol. RuPaul then enters the workroom to greet the queens and Ariana Grande. RuPaul welcomes the queens and tells them that they are there to win $200,000, a $50,000 increase from the season prior. Next, the first mini challenge of the season is introduced, a tribute to the first ever photo shoot on Drag Race. In this photo shoot, queens will be sprayed with water hoses as they stand in front of a car. Before the challenge starts, Ariana Grande gives her goodbyes as she heads out, but not before giving the iconic "good luck and don't fuck it up" line. This wouldn't really be that important if not for the joke RuPaul makes after, saying that he's going to tell Disney about her cursing. As somebody who grew up with Victorious and Sam and Cat, I feel a need to correct that RuPaul should have said Nickelodeon. Nostalgic fact correction aside, it's time for the mini challenge. Irina's up first, and she describes herself as looking like a drowned, harassed rat while she is being sprayed with water, which isn't really important, but I would be remiss to not mention a Let's Have a Kiki reference. She also makes a "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" reference, so this girl has taste. Overall, she does a pretty good job in the challenge, looking stunning while being sprayed the house down, or sprayed the hose down. Lex is next, and she is not feeling the water fantasy. She mentions in the confessional how gross she feels in her wet drag. Her white outfit is getting soaked through, and her supposedly 40-inch hair is sticking to her face. She does manage to turn it out, though, serving it to us in a split. Aura Mayari comes in and is immediately working off of the pit crew, the male models that help out in the show while wearing their signature Speedo uniform. Aura is literally all over these men, and good for her. Marsha gets like a minute of screen time for the mini challenge, and it is literally Murphy's Law. Her nose bandage and jacket are falling, her hair is sticking to every surface imaginable, and she somehow ends up crouched on the floor. We take a quick break from the mini challenge to look at some of the girls out of drag. Marcia immediately gawks at how different Irene looks, but Lux isn't surprised, saying that Irene still looks like a swamp witch either way. Anyways, back to the mini challenge with Anitra, who can't seem to stop laughing. She loses a lash and then a custom Malaysia baby doll fox. Despite her ostrich feather and rhinestone gown being drenched, she still manages to keep up a good attitude and serve cunt. Princess Poppy is up, and there's a couple of jokes showing off her humor, but besides that, she gets about as much screen time for this challenge as Marcia. And look, Sasha Colby is up next, and oh my gosh, everything about that woman is so stunning. My gay ass cannot handle it. But we end up cutting back to all of the girls getting out of drag again and are introduced to the start of Marcia's storyline, as the girls mention that she looks exactly the same out of drag. Princess Poppy mentions in her confessional that all Marcia really had to do is take off a lash and call it a day. This lack of makeup is going to be a reoccurring thing for Marcia, so get used to it. Aura makes mention that she believes she is trade of the season, which was a very controversial statement in the fandom. Honestly, the trade of the season discussion was split between Anitra and Aura, as well as two queens in the next group. My personal vote is Anitra, but as a lesbian, I don't really know how valid that is. 40-inch gate continues when Lex refuses to take off her wig even though she is out of drag. Irene tells her to take it off, and Lex states that she won't because she's getting her money's worth of the wig, all 40 inches of it. It's a small discussion, but 40-inch gate is extremely important, so it must be mentioned. The girls discuss their strength as a group, and Marcia mentions that she didn't get any negative vibes from anybody. Lex has an actually moment and says that she got negative vibes from Irene. Irene, who has been throwing shade all episode, says that she wishes the girls would throw shade back at her. Cut to confessionals where Irene admits that people think she's a bitch, but doesn't really care because she considers being bitchy hilarious, and I can't really argue with that. Plus, it makes for good TV. RuPaul re-enters the workroom and announces Irene Dubois as the winner of the mini challenge, winning her a prize of $2,500. RuPaul also announces the main challenge for the episode, one night only, a talent extravaganza. The queens have prepared solo performances for the talent show, but they will also have to work as a group to choreograph the opening number. We cut to rehearsals where Marcia and Aura argue a bit about the choreography. I'm not going to elaborate on it too much because these rehearsals are just an excuse to get the queens out of the workroom to make room for the second cast of queens, starting with Selena Estides from Los Angeles, California. Selena is fun and loud, almost blowing the confessional mic as she shouts with excitement over being the first to enter the workroom. Selena mentions that she not only works in the bars, but also does TV, film, and commercial work. She's a well-rounded entertainer. Next up is Amethyst, the first ever Connecticut queen to be on Drag Race. Amethyst mentions her biggest achievement in drag is going viral on TikTok, claiming herself to be the first viral TikTok queen to be on Drag Race. Ignoring the fact Princess Poppy has also gone viral on TikTok, we're going to put a pin in that statement. Next to enter the workroom is Jax. While she is from New York, it's important to note that she grew up in Connecticut. So that brings our Connecticut count up to technically 2. Jax claims to be the Simone Biles of drag, stating that she was a competitive athlete for most of her life in diving, gymnastics, and cheerleading, so this girl is a pretty stacked performer. Bringing our Connecticut count to 3 is Lucy LaDuca. She's a construction worker by day and drag queen by night. She states that she's known for her quick wit and live singing, and put a pin on the live singing part. Amethyst makes mention that Lucy is one of the best hosts in Connecticut, establishing Lucy as somebody to watch out for in the competition. Breaking our Connecticut streak is Mistress Isabel Brooks from Houston, Texas. Mistress is an old-school drag queen sporting big makeup and small heels.
Look at those titties! Look at those heels.
Mistress comes in and is immediately shady, reading the girls left and right. Next to enter the workroom is Robin Fierce, and y'all will never guess where she is from. That's right, Connecticut. And that makes 4 Connecticut girls. In a confessional, Amethyst teases that she knows Robin better than everybody else in the workroom. Robin tells the audience in her confessional that she'll leave Amethyst to tell the story, but don't ship the 2 of them, teasing a potential previous romantic relationship between the 2. Now, remember how I said that Princess Poppy and Amethyst claimed to be the viral TikTok queens of the season? The producers were doing them dirty keeping that in the edit, because the next 2 people to enter the workroom are the TikTok queens, twins Sugar and Spice. Mistress and the other queens, but especially Mistress, clock the twins as just the social media girls, especially since the 2 have little to no performance experiences outside of TikTok. They don't see Sugar nor Spice as a threat, and just see them as talkative and annoying. At one point, Sugar asks if anybody recognized her and Spice from social media, and Mistress immediately says no. Cut to confessionals, and Mistress reveals that she did recognize the twins, but she didn't want to give them that satisfaction. Next to enter the workroom is another Ornacia girlie wearing the Vivacious fit. However, instead of Ariana Grande, the queen is revealed to be Vivacious herself. No hate to Vivacious whatsoever, but I found out the other girls got to kiki with Ariana for a bit after their entrances. I would have been so jealous. Anyways, Vivacious states that
Father has arrived. Look over there!
And points over to Rupaul, who's entering the workroom to once again meet the queens and announce the mini challenge. This time, the mini challenge photo shoot will be a tribute to the season 2 premiere's photo shoot, where the queens will be atop a motorcycle with a fan blowing on them and props being thrown into the wind. Selena Estides is up first, and she is working it. She's playing off of the pit crew and rolling with the punches. Or I guess the leaves that are blowing into her face. Amethyst is next, and she's doing relatively well despite the occasional leaf that flies into her mouth. Then Jax goes up, and she looks absolutely stunning. Instead of leaves, she's getting petals thrown at her, and she's working off of them perfectly. She does a pretty amazing job for the minute of screen time they give her. Mistress is next and does a pretty good job despite being showered in feathers. Lucy goes, looks stunning, working off of the pit crew and the feathers. There's honestly not a lot to say about these 2 since they don't get that much screen time for their photo shoots. Robin Fierce is next, and she is insanely photogenic. The only issue with her photo shoot is that she's wearing lip gloss, which causes the feathers flying at her to stick to her lips. Her wig is also sticking to the gloss as the wind hits her hair into her mouth. It's a struggle for Robin, for sure. Before the twins go, we cut back to the workroom where the previous queens talk about how underwhelmed they are by Sugar and Spice, with most of the conversation going to Mistress. Mistress makes note that before the mini challenge, she had to tell Sugar to glue her wig down, giving us a hint of just how novice the twins are. Speaking of the twins, we cut back to the photo shoot with Sugar. Something to note is when fake snow is blown onto Sugar, she fakes having a seizure of sorts. Put a pin in that, we'll get to that in a second, but she definitely went a more camp route for the photo shoot, focusing more on reacting to the environment than looking pretty. Spice comes in next and is very self-aware of the fact that she didn't pin her wig down well. While this isn't the best situation to be in for a mini challenge that requires wind to be blowing at you, Spice has a backup plan. Spice removes her wig and replaces it with a shower cap that she had stored in a purse. Rupaul tries to get Spice to put her wig back on to no avail, leaving Spice to serve cunt in her little shower cap. Spice, just like Sugar, also does a mock seizure while leaves are being blown at her face. Not super notable, but it is interesting that they both did that not knowing the other did it. Twin things, I guess. Spice comes back into the workroom with her little shower cap, which the other queens immediately react to. Spice also mentions how the queens look completely different out of drag. I guess now is an appropriate time to announce the other two queens that were discussed as being the trade of the season, Lucy LaDuca and Selena Estides. Honestly, I see it. Anyways, in the workroom, Mistress goes over how she works with older queens in Houston and how she's not used to working with younger queens. She also talks to the twins and tells them that she's interested in what they're going to bring. The twins then start talking and do not stop. The edit hops around from talking point to talking point as they talk about icebreakers, being a porch person, and their magical bike rides. While the other queens are annoyed by all the talking, Mistress reveals in her confessional that she thinks the twins are a hoot and are super entertaining. Rupaul re-enters the workroom, announcing Lucy LaDuca as the winner of the mini challenge, as well as $2,500, and gives the queens the same talk she gave the first batch about the talent show challenge. The second batch of queens head to the rehearsal studio where they join the first batch of queens. Irene mentions that she grew up in the Texas drag scene and therefore knows Mistress. She mentions that Mistress is competition since she is well known in Texas. Selena also mentions that she knows Sasha Colby from LA, where the twins are also from. Sugar and Spice are established to be known by pretty much everybody, and the twins start rambling before being cut off again. Spice mentions that her and Sugar are feeling a lot of animosity from the girls, which is really upsetting since the main reason they even came to the show was to make drag friends. Sugar even mentions that all their drag friends are online, saying that she is technically friends with Lux, but only on Instagram. The queens go back to rehearsing this opening number thing, where the first group shows off what they have prepared so far. The first group tries to implement the second group into the choreo before things get extremely chaotic, with people talking over each other. Robin mentions that there are too many chefs in the kitchen while the choreo queens continue to bicker. Mistress goes on a rant about how they need to get their shit together, and then they continue, but we don't see the rest of the choreo just yet. Instead, we cut to the next day in the workroom where the queens are getting ready for the talent show. The queens chat it up, with the twins getting their station next to each other and Irene and Mistress shading each other back and forth. The twins mention to Irene that they take a long time to get ready, something Irene is concerned about. There's a little continuation of 40-inch gate with Irene holding out a wig and asking Lux how long she thinks it is. Lux compares her wig to Irene's and states that the two are close in length, but Irene states that hers is longer and is actually 40 inches. Lux says that while Irene's wig may technically be longer, the hair gets wispy towards the end while Lux is constantly thick. Lux later has a discussion with the twins about her start as a social media queen, how she wasn't able to go to the clubs due to COVID and had to start her career online. The three mention how because they got their start on social media, other queens underestimate them and often pay them no mind. This mindset is supported by a confessional by Malaysia, who states that true growth for queens can really only be done by going out and actually performing. Sasha asks Aura what she's going to be doing for the upcoming talent show, and Aura mentions that she is a hip-hop dancer and will be doing a dance number. Lucy then asks Amethyst what she's doing, which Amethyst reveals she's doing her kind of lip sync. Lucy says she's singing an original song live, which she previously mentioned she does frequently. Amethyst asks Anitra what she's going to be doing for the talent show, but Anitra states that she's not going to reveal what she's doing, telling the audience in her confessional that she's keeping her cards close. While the talent show quickly approaches, everybody for the most part is ready except for the twins. While the other queens are gluing down wigs and putting on their outfits, the twins are still doing their eyeliner. Spice is running all over the place trying to find a wig, running every which way trying to find it. We then cut to the introduction of the judges, but I'll spare the one-liners since they aren't important. I was going to make a joke about how despite how much focus was put into choreo for it, the opening number barely got any screen time, but I think they showed more of it in the extended cut. It's pretty cute, and everybody did a pretty good job, but it is still fairly obvious that it was just used as an excuse to get the first group of queens occupied while the second did their thing, as well as give some drama. Anyways, on to the main challenge with the talent show. Opening the show is Malaysia Baby Doll Fox with a lip sync to an original song. This song is honestly pretty good, but the performance itself is nothing special. With talent shows on Drag Race, there are going to be a lot of lip syncs to original songs, so it's important to make sure your performance stands out, and I don't think this one did. Next up is Spice, who surprises everybody with a pretty solid comedic lip sync to an original song. Both the song and performance are humorous, with the mock seizures returning. What makes this performance work is how it plays to Spice's strengths. She's not the best dancer, so instead of leaving time for dance breaks, she uses those breaks to do a comedic shake or a joking twerk. Also, having a giant coffin instead of stairs in the middle of the stage helps with Spice's stage presence. With such a large prop, it makes the stage look smaller and therefore takes away from how little Spice is moving around, because there is less stage to take up. It's such a smart performance, and the song itself is also really funny, making it stand out as well. Sugar mentions that she's proud watching Spice perform by herself since Spice apparently relies on Sugar for a lot. Sugar feels like a proud mom seeing Spice on her own. We're gonna put a pin in that and move on to Lux Noir London, who has a lip sync to an original song. Who would have thought? The song is great, but the mixing needs some work. The instrumental is way too loud. I would have turned it down and increased Lux's vocals, which are actually really good. The performance itself is also pretty good, but I'm not the biggest fan of Lux's dance style here. It's a lot of throwing limbs around, and it's not really my cup of tea. On a technical level, it's good though, and overall entertaining. Stream Round and Round by Lux Noir London for Clear Skin. Mistress Isabel Brooks is up next with another lip sync to another original song. The song itself isn't that bad. While I wouldn't listen to it in my free time, it does the job. Similar to Spice's number, it has its comedic elements and even references to previous seasons. Overall, pretty solid performance. Now, I wish I could show the full clip of this next performance because there isn't really a way to describe it in words, but alas, I can only show you 6 seconds of it, so be prepared to let loose.
Let loose, I said let loose. You're holding it together, baby.
Sorry, but that's all I can show you, but oh my god, is this performance camp? Is it good? God, no, but honestly, if you told me to sing live in front of Ariana Grande, you would get the same thing. While I am a lover of anything so bad it's good, I can also acknowledge that this is not a good vocal performance on Lucy's part. The song itself is super catchy, but the performance is super stiff. Lucy herself was not letting loose, having to stand still in order to serve vocals. Also, I hate to say it, but Jan has set the bar far too high for anybody to be singing live in their talent show. Speaking of Jan, stream the Let Loose remix with Jan and Lemon. Lemon's verse slaps insanely hard, but anyways, back to the talent show with Marsha. I was looking forward to what she was bringing since she has her BFA. We're taking a break from the lip syncs for some interpretive dance. On a technical level, this number is literally amazing. Marsha is an incredibly talented dancer, and the complete grace at which she performs while still also being comedic is insane. The dance is also a comedy, being to the song I'll Make Love to You, with Marsha making gracefully lewd movements and revealing that the person she is thinking of is the hilarious Ross Matthews. It's such a great performance, and I can't wait to see what else she pulls out this season. Robin Pierce is up next with another lip sync, but not to an original song. It's a pretty safe performance, but the thing I want to note is how skinny her heels are. Those heels are thinner than pencil lead, and she was on that stage doing cartwheels and dancing all over the place. I've seen her perform live in heels that skinny, and it is literally insane how you can barely see them. Her ability to do all of that is crazy. I wish she got to show off more of her dancing ability in this number. Irina's up next with a tutorial on how to make a nice cold glass of water. I'll be honest, I thought this performance was hilarious, but I also understood why nobody was laughing. Irene literally just makes a glass of water on stage while YouTube tutorial music plays in the background. That's literally it. I think the absurdity of it is what's funny to me, as well as the confusion of everyone else. At one point, halfway through the performance, Ariana Grande is about to start applauding because she thinks it's over, but then the performance just keeps going. I would have killed to have been there, but yeah, overall, a very awkward performance that wasn't funny to anybody in the room. Thankfully, this performance is followed up by Anitra, who is bringing back a lip sync to an original song. This song is absolutely hilarious and iconic, and Anitra's dancing is absolutely incredible. That's not all, though. Anitra literally breaks wooden boards like the Karate Kid, but it heals. She breaks a board with a spin kick at one point. Look, I took karate for a couple years, so I know how hard it is to break a board, so this performance immediately solidified Anitra as a favorite of mine. This performance was impressive, fun, and most importantly, full of talent. Sugar is up next, and despite having to follow up Anitra's performance, she does a pretty solid job. She has an original song and performance just like Spice, but it's definitely the weaker of the two. The same compliments I gave to Spice also go to Sugar, though, with the song playing to her brand of being a bimbo, as well as having funny lyrics that make for a comedic lip sync. There's also a moment during the number where the camera cuts to Spice and the audience lip syncing to the song, so that was pretty sweet. Princess Poppy follows up with another original number. This one is more theatrical than the other ones, with the song being about Poppy and a parasite named Petunia that is a puppet and takes up the entirety of her arm. The contrast between Poppy and Petunia is funny, and it does a great job of establishing Princess Poppy's sense of humor, and is an overall entertaining performance. Lena Estides is next with another lip sync to an original song. This number is so good, with the song being great and catchy. The song itself is a great show of Selena's rapping abilities, with the tempo and flow changing throughout the song. Her dancing is also great, keeping a good stage presence by using the entire stage throughout the performance. Overall, 10 out of 10. Amethyst is up next doing a lip sync to a song about not being able to find a baby. I'm sorry, but I have no idea what the name of the song is, but yeah, anyways, the joke of the performance is that the baby is on her back the whole time. This would have been a lot funnier if the reveal was at the end of the number rather than the beginning, giving the audience time to be like, wait, I think the baby's on her back, but I'm not sure. Wait, no, it's definitely there. Giving the audience time to figure out the joke for themselves and then doing the big reveal to prove them right might have worked a lot better. Also, the alcoholic chain smoker mom character didn't really come off in the performance, only in the props of the wine glass and cigarette. Aura Mayari is up next, and she's doing a lip sync to Kill This Love by Blackpink. First off, I'd like to thank Aura Mayari for doing this specific song because Anitra was originally going to do it, but Aura had already taken the song, so she couldn't use it for her number. Aura's song choice leading to Anitra's number being what it is honestly the best thing about this number. Remember how Aura said she was a hip-hop dancer? Well, apparently she had an injury and couldn't perform to the best of her abilities. At least, that's something I've heard, but still, some of the moves are offbeat. The dance is pretty weak compared to pretty much everything we've seen so far. And there's this part where she does this really intense stare at the other queens, and it's just weird. But thankfully, Sasha Colby is up next, and she's doing a lip sync to Zombie by the Cranberries. Overall, pretty solid performance. The number is just full of raw emotion, and the reveals added to the feelings in the song. Also, the last move Sasha does, which is this purposefully messy roll into an animalistic stance, is so incredible. Solid performance all around. Closing out the show, we have Jax, and Jax does a lip sync and absolutely kills it. She has these super long braids and ends up using them as a jump rope during the number. Jumping rope like it's the easiest thing in the world. As somebody with no coordination in their feet, it is really not, but then she takes the braid extensions off with the most swag I have ever seen. With the extra hair gone, she does a series of back handsprings from the back to the front of the stage. I think Anitra describes it best.
This bitch just did a triple-double, whatever it is, and lands on her titties ever so gently.
Next up is the runway with the theme Who Is She? And I'm just going to breeze through these since I'm already 12 pages into the script and we're just on the premiere. Irene is wearing an alien-like black bodysuit that establishes that she's an alien. I would have liked to see more color and experimentation with the silhouette, but besides that, it does its job. Lex is next, and I absolutely love this outfit. The colors are everything, and I'm obsessed with how the cape works. Also, I completely agree with Lex's confessional. People should wear hats more. Aura Mayari is next, and this is the third time this premiere she's worn a black outfit with a platinum wig. At least she's on brand. Marcia is next, and I absolutely love this outfit. It's adorable and matches the aesthetic I was getting with her entrance look. I also love how there are a chain on a jacket hanging on her shoulders. Normally, those stress me out. Is it going to fall off? How's it staying on? I don't have to worry here, though. Personal thing, but it goes a long way. Anitra looks absolutely stunning. I love the material her bodysuit is made out of. I wish she had kept the visor on just a little longer, though, since I think it looks pretty cool. It was serving Tanaya 7 from Power Rangers RPM. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox looks absolutely stunning in this white gown. I don't have much to say on it except that it's beautiful and the rhinestones are very shiny. Princess Poppy is next, and it is definitely an outfit. It looks like pre-coming out JoJo Siwa ingested a couple of packs of gack and threw it up onto an outfit. But Sasha Colby looks great. I love her headpiece, and this gown is absolutely stunning. No words. Selena's look is very on brand. I really like it. The pattern on the denim is fun and makes it stand out. Plus, who doesn't love a bucket hat? Amethyst looks okay. Her brand is pop star, which I kind of get from this, but I just don't like it. I don't really know what it is I don't like, though. I just don't like it. Jax's runway is really fun. Normally, I'm not a fan of clashing patterns, but it works here. The colored jacket works well with the black and white zebra print. It's a nice look, and the camera is a nice touch. Lucy LaDuca is apparently serving Britney Spears from the Toxic music video. That's what she says, but I honestly just thought it was a regular flight attendant. It's a nice outfit, but I think if you're going to show who you are with an outfit, don't have it be a recreation or heavily inspired by another outfit. It has to be original and you. Mistress is serving cowgirl chaps, and I really like it. The color combo is nice, and the frills and stones add flavor to the outfit. Robin Fierce looks fierce. I mean, just look at it. I love the hair, and the outfit is just everything. I will say I like the outfit more before the reveal into the bodysuit, but it is still an amazing look. Sugar is giving you Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and like I said with Lucy LaDuca, I wish she was serving up something original, but I think for the twins, something like this could slide, since their whole thing is being dolls brought to life. It's a solid recreation, but I would have preferred to see something that more so reflected Sugar's bimbo brand. Spice is next and is giving a recreation of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Once again, I get that they're showing their dolls come to life, but I would have much preferred to see something more punk for Spice. The outfits they wore were almost interchangeable between them. So we get to the judging and are left with our tops and bottoms of the week. The bottoms are Irene, Amethyst, and Lucy LaDuca, with the tops being Marcia, Anitra, and Jax. The thing to mention is that the judges make a comment about Marcia needing to wear more makeup, and how they're willing to let it slide since it's the first week. Next up is the judges' liberation. Now, I don't care about this because it's a rehash of what you get when the judges are talking to the queens, which normally doesn't have any notable moments anyway, so I'm just going to skip over it. I was planning on using that time to talk about what happens in Untucked, but Untucked for this season isn't out yet on Paramount+, so I will occasionally mention stuff I remember happening that's notable to storylines or drama that happens on Untucked, but you are not getting a summary. I am so sorry, but thankfully, normally not much happens unless there's an argument, so we should be fine. Anyways, the queens come back to the main stage and Anitra is announced as the winner of the talent show, which I agree with. Out of the bottom queens, Lucy is saved, leaving Amethyst and Irene to lip sync for their lives to 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. In front of Ariana Grande. It's a pretty fun lip sync, but it's fairly obvious that Amethyst wins it. She channels Popstar the whole number and is just a blast to watch. So, Amethyst wins and Irene has to sashay away. It's a shame because Irene had the best runway package of the entire season. She posted all her unearned runways to Instagram and it is a solid package. The fact we didn't get to see them on the main stage is upsetting, but I'd be lying if I said she didn't deserve to go home this episode. But with one less queen, it's time to get into the next episode. Episode 3. All Queens Go to Heaven. After Irene's elimination, the queens come together and realize that literally anybody can be going home, especially since Irene was fierce competition. All they need is just one off day and they can be gone. Anitra is congratulated for her win before Spice tells Robin that she needs to spill the beans on the details between her and Amethyst. Robin mentioned in the previous episodes Untucked that her and Amethyst dated for a short period of time and ended up with a mutual breakup. After filming, the two were consistently asked about the relationship, with both saying in interviews and on social media that it was basically just a hookup that the producers tried to make into something that was more than it was. Mistress then tells Lucy that she's glad that she's safe and still in the competition. Lucy agrees, saying that she's going to prove the judges wrong and show them what she's capable of. Cut to the confessionals where Lucy says she disagrees with the judges that she should have been in the bottom. This is the start of Lucy's storyline, the delusional edit. Before I keep going, I think it's important to state that we don't actually know the people that are participating in this show and only know them as the characters that are being edited by the producers. Sure, they give them the material, but you don't truly know them as a person. Lucy and a few of the other queens have received a lot of hate for how they were portrayed this season, and I want to state loud and clear that I don't support that at all. With that being said, let's continue to a new day in the workroom where after a short discussion on Sasha Colby's mother energy, Rupaul comes in and announces the Maxi Challenge. The queens will work in teams to create infomercials showcasing their ideal queer afterlife. The queens are split into 3 teams, with Anitra, the winner of last week's challenge, and Amethyst, person who survived the lip sync, picking the first 2 teams. Anitra picks Lex Noir London, Sasha Colby, Selena Estides, and Marcia, with Amethyst picking Lucy LaDuca, Aura Mayari, Spice, and Princess Poppy, leaving Mistress Isabel Brooks, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, Sugar, Robin Fierce, and Jax as the final team. After a commercial break, we cut to the girls in their separate teams discussing ideas. Anitra's team is rolling along pretty smoothly, and with this group is bouncing ideas, with Princess Poppy and Lucy LaDuca bouncing off of each other, taking the lead in the group. However, Amethyst feels like the two are taking over and is very intimidated not just by the two being humorous, but the fact that she is also a comedy queen and needs to prove after her talent show that she can do comedy. We then cut to the leftovers group where Mistress has appointed herself the unofficial leader. Sugar keeps trying to throw out ideas to the group's annoyance. Jax reaches a breaking point and, for her own sanity, physically moves Sugar to the end of the table, moving her from the middle of the group to the outskirts. Jax is confused by the other girl's ideas and is frustrated that she is being talked over. Mistress is annoyed that people are spouting out too many ideas. Jax takes over and tells them they need to write everything down and stop saying random ideas instead of making a concrete story. Sugar is starting to feel insanely overlooked as she is silenced by the leftovers. She laments in a confessional that being separated from Spice is really getting to her and that she feels like an outsider already. This displeasure is noticed by Spice and Lucy, who from across the workroom discuss Sugar's downtrodden demeanor. We cut to filming and start with the leftovers team. Michelle Visage is in the director's chair and she's very concerned about the organization and vision at hand. Sugar mentions that while the other girls were shutting down her ideas, they were super unprepared, questioning where their lines are. Things aren't looking good. Next up is Team Anitra. Everything is going really well until Selena and Sasha start filming their scene. Sasha's nerves start to get the best of her and she starts to forget her lines. Michelle Visage is forcing a perfect delivery from Sasha, making her insanely nervous. Finally, we have Team Amethyst. Princess Poppy is excited to work with Michelle since she wrote most of the jokes in the infomercial. Michelle ends up giving Poppy and Amethyst a lot of critiques on their delivery in the comedy, leaving the two very concerned, especially since they consider themselves comedy queens. With the filming over, we cut to a new day in the workroom where Team Anitra states that they feel really, really well with how their infomercial turned out. Sugar is on a different note in regards to her team, telling Spice that she felt her team wasn't having fun with the idea and was taking it too seriously as well as not listening to her at all. Sugar starts to tear up as she laments how hard it is for her to stand up for herself. Princess Poppy and Lucy LaDuca talk about how they think their performances are safe, with Poppy emphasizing that she would be shocked if any of their group landed in the bottom. Jax goes to confront Amethyst as to why she wasn't picked for Amethyst's team despite them both being from Connecticut. Amethyst simply states that she picked people that she thought would have the same sense of humor as her. In confessionals, Amethyst says that she thinks it's a bit silly that Jax was taking the whole thing personally, especially since they are in a competitive environment. Aura then asks Jax how she felt about her group, with Jax stating that she was with a lot of big personalities that kept spitballing ideas. She claimed that she had to write the entire outline and script and that she felt like she did a good job. Sugar, on the other hand, states in confessional that she feel like Jax didn't have a character in the infomercial and spent more time bossing people around than building her own character. The queens talk about their experiences with religion since it has to do with the challenge. Next, we have the runway with the theme Metallica. We start off with Anitra, who is serving a butch lesbian fantasy that I am living for. If you added some pants to this outfit, I would wear it in a heartbeat. It is such a nice fit. Tasha Colby is up next, and she is serving metal peacock realness. Honestly, I really like this look. It's giving showgirl, like something you would see in Vegas. Selena Estides is next, and it's definitely an outfit. I just have so many questions. Why is the wig so fried? What is going on with the headpiece? What is going on with the wig? It's giving bob until you look harder, and actually the back of it goes down to the ass. You know what? I'm not going to ask any more questions. I am just going to try and forget about it. Thankfully, Lex is next, and I don't have much to say besides she looks gorgeous. Literally stunning. It was smart of her to go a gold route since most of the other queens went silver. It stands out amongst the silver looks we've already seen, as well as looks good with her skin tone. Not to say she wouldn't rock silver, but the gold just works so well. Marsha is serving Tin Man realness. Honestly, I love this look. It's cute. Also, I love how she added the rust to it. It adds a little flair to a look that could have looked too costumey, but ends up elevating it. Also, the steam coming out of the headpiece was a nice touch. The only thing I would change is the tights. I'd just get rid of them. Amethyst is next, and she's serving up ethereal gold sun goddess. She looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the big hair she has on and the boots covered in Renaissance paintings. It's such a solid look. Princess Poppy definitely sticks out because of the blue highlights on her outfit. I like that they match the wig, and the blue adds a bit of flair to the silver, but other than that, I don't like it. I hate the silhouette, and I wish the dress went down lower. I don't like that the groin area is revealed. I'm not a prude or anything, but there's no reason for it to be showing on this outfit and is only there to be a funny gag, but it doesn't work with the outfit. Spice is next, and she is serving futuristic Y2K Hatsune Miku realness. Yes, I know putting futuristic and Y2K together doesn't make sense grammatically, but you know what I mean. The little robot dog really adds to the fantasy. I love this outfit. Aura Mayari is next, and don't get me wrong, this is a fine outfit, but it's something I've seen before. It resembles Jan's All-Star 6 promo far too much. I get that it was probably made by the same designer, but the metallic flame motif is still a bit too familiar, especially since the looks were about a year apart. That aside, the outfit still looks good. I wish the chest piece didn't block so much of her face though, since her makeup is insanely stunning. Lucy LaDuca is next, and while I really enjoyed the outfit, the wig kinda ruins it for me. The brightness of the wig clashes with the dark shades of the outfit. I think a dirty blonde or just a darker orange would have worked a lot better. Neck down, however, the outfit is amazing. I love the color combo, and the armor look was a nice direction to go in. Jax's look is pretty nice. I really enjoyed the metal arms, even if they do look a little clunky. The look is based off of Jax's namesake, Jax from Mortal Kombat. I think this is a nice translation, especially going from more masculine to feminine. Robin Fierce looks great, looking like a Themyscirian warrior. I think that's how you say it. Whatever place Wonder Woman is from. Like, this is one of the bitches you'd find on that island. She looks absolutely stunning. Next is Mistress Isabel Brooks, and I'll be honest, I don't like this. The shoulders make it look like a stuffed gift bag. There's also a big chain that she's lugging around, which I guess is because there are smaller chains on the dress, but it's still just like, why? Sugar is next, and she's giving intergalactic Hannah Montana, like if Xenon from the 21st century wanted to live the best of both worlds. I love this look so much. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I don't care. I love it. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox is giving us another gown. Normally, I'd say let's switch it up a bit since that's all we've really seen from her so far, but we're only 2 episodes in, so I'll give her some leeway. I like the outfit, but I feel like it's missing something to really make it pop. With all the runways out of the way, we finally get to watch the Queen's infomercials. We start with Team Anitra, who absolutely kills it. Anitra gives the weakest performance, having barely any lines, but it's still relatively safe. Lux and Marsha also have smaller parts, but still manage to be funny and own the scenes that they're in. Selena and Sasha carry the rest of the infomercial, and their bits are everything. Sasha has this gag where every time the two teleport somewhere, she has to crack her neck. It's hilarious. Selena's delivery is also great with her line, "I died a local girl," being my favorite part of the infomercial.
I died a local girl!
Team Amethyst is up next, and it's just not funny. There are potential jokes, but they just don't land. The afterlife they set up looks fun, so at least they sold that part. Lucy's Dolly Parton was a nice add-on, but honestly, it just felt tacked on to the end of it. We close off the infomercials with the leftovers who really misunderstood the assignment, which was to make a heaven for drag queens. Instead, they literally say in the infomercial that it's heaven for drag queen fans and hell for the queens. I think the infomercial would have gone a lot better if instead of the queens constantly being annoyed by the superfan, they were actually ecstatic. While I don't think it would be funny, I think it would at least be an entertaining afterlife for everybody. Also, I think Sugar carried the group. She played the drag superfan and seemed to be the only one having fun. The safe queens are sent back to Untucked, and we are left with the tops and bottoms of the week, with Sasha, Lex, and Lucy representing the tops, and Jax, Amethyst, and Princess Poppy representing the bottoms. I have to disagree with the top placements just a little bit. While I think Lex did a good job, she was on par with Marsha in their infomercial. Instead, I would have put Sugar in the top since she was the standout in her group. Plus, it would help close the storyline of the episode with her group doing her dirty and her coming out on top. Anyway, Sasha Colby is revealed to be the winner of the Maxi Challenge. Out of the bottom 3, Jax is saved, leaving Amethyst and Princess Poppy to lip sync for their life to Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross. Once again, Amethyst carries this lip sync, channeling Diana Ross with her outfit and her moves. Princess Poppy at one point decides to start serving camp, which normally fine in my book, but I personally don't think Diana Ross was appropriate for camp. Like, there's a part where Poppy runs to the safe queens and motions that she should be put there, which in another song would be super funny, but it just didn't work here. So, Princess Poppy ends up having to sashay away while Amethyst is safe once more.
Episode 4, Supersized Snatch Game. After Princess Poppy's elimination, Amethyst talks in the confessionals about how she is worried about her comedic abilities. She considers herself a comedy queen, but has had to lip sync twice now for failed comedic efforts. The girls sit around and Sugar laments how working with her group was a struggle since they worked differently from the way her and Spice worked together. Sugar says in a confessional that she's not going to apologize for being annoying. Sasha is congratulated for her win, followed by Lex saying that she was in the top 2. Lucy disagrees with this, saying she came up second in the top ranking. This is going to be a constant this season, with the girls in the top debating who was second best. But anyways, Lucy states in confessionals that she's ready for a win. While the girls are de-dragging, Sugar mentions that she is living for Marcia's B-plot makeup storyline this season and how camp it is. Not Sugar calling out the produced storylines 3 episodes in. Marcia says that every time the judges have seen her, they have mentioned her makeup. In confessional, she says that she wants the makeup comments to end since they are overshadowing her actual skills in the competition. It's a new day in the workroom, and to quote Aura Mayari,
Another day of trauma.
Rupaul comes in and announces that the Maxi Challenge will be the Snatch Game, split into 2 to accommodate the large number of queens. For those who don't know, the Snatch Game is a celebrity impersonation and improv challenge, where the queens impersonate celebrities while making jokes while playing Ru's parody version of the game show Match Game. Aura is immediately worried since she is a dancer. She doesn't do celebrity impersonation. The queens discuss who they're playing. And something to note is that in the confessional, Selena reveals that not only is she playing the Virgin Mary, but she is playing Mary as a horny virgin. During this confessional, the lights go out and then start to flicker. A sign from God for what's to come. Sugar says she's doing Trisha Paytas despite the bad history doing internet celebrities has on Snatch Game, with most people who do them ending up in the bottom. She says that's a risk she is willing to take. Ru does a walkthrough with the queens and the characters they're doing, and I'm just going to breeze through the notable ones. Anitra says she is going to do Gordon Ramsay, but RuPaul tells her instead to do a female version of him like his sister or mother. This isn't super notable in the episode, but this was cut in the aired version, so it just came off as a random idea from Anitra. It gives the character a whole new context now that we know it was Ru's idea. But more importantly, Robin Fierce mentions that she is doing one of the Real Housewives. RuPaul is very against it, saying that housewives don't normally work in Snatch Game, with Jackie Cox being basically the only exception. Robin tries to explain the housewife she is playing, but Ru interrupts her saying she's already bored and doesn't know if Robin will have the ability to be as outgoing as she needs to be during the Snatch Game. Robin is worried because she is a more reserved person and not necessarily funny. When talking with Amethyst, Ru mentions that she has noticed that Amethyst is a quick thinker and is naturally funny despite her performance in the last 2 challenges. This boosts Amethyst's confidence. Now, it's time for the Snatch Game. Our first group consists of Marcia as Tim Gunn, Lex Noir London as Amanda Lepore, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox as Saucy Santana, Mistress Isabel Brooks as Rosie O'Donnell, Anitra as Gorginia Ramsey, Robin Fierce as Karen Huger, and Selena Estides as the Virgin Mary. So for the standouts, we have Marcia as Tim Gunn, who did pretty solid. Honestly, the aired edit made her performance look better, but still a solid job. Mistress Rosie O'Donnell was also really funny, with Mistress taking every opportunity to interject and steal the show. Also, the hour edit gave Anitra's Gorginia Ramsey a lot more screen time, and it was really enjoyable. It was a bit of a mess, but it came together, so in my book it was pretty good. Malaysia and Lex didn't get much screen time for their performances, so I'm just going to clock them as safe and call it a day for them. That leaves us with Robin and Selena. Robin had like this regal cadence to her that made it hard to make quick and witty one-liners. She also over-explained her character's history, which also kept the jokes from really working. The original edit actually made her look a lot better, taking out the awkward moments in the confessional from Selena mentioning how she wasn't getting any laughs. Speaking of Selena, oh my god. Okay, so to start off, Selena had a story throughout the Snatch Game where she got pregnant with Jesus in the middle of it, but this wasn't known to RuPaul. So during the introduction period, she asked Selena about Jesus, which led to an awkward moment of misunderstanding as Ru tried to get some Jesus jokes, while Selena just wanted to move on. Later, the Virgin Mary falls pregnant, and this pregnancy is introduced by a loud, mic-blowing scream. It was a lot. Pregnant Mary then props her feet up onto the table, which isn't the worst thing in the world, except not only are the feet bare, but they are also dirty. There's a speck of glitter on one of the feet that kept catching the light. While it did have its funny moments, I think it was just way too much. Moving on to the second group, we have Lucy LaDuca as Joan Rivers, Sasha Colby as Jan Crouch, Jax as the Mona Lisa, Sugar as Trisha Paytas, Amethyst as Tan Mom, Spice as Miley Cyrus, and Aura Mayari as Bretman Rock. So for standout performances, we obviously have Lucy LaDuca as Joan River. She owned this group the entire time. She was quick to bounce off the other queens and RuPaul, as well as just quick coming up with one-liners. It was an insane performance. Also, Amethyst Tan Mom was insanely funny. She definitely got a comedic redemption with this episode. The people who just said okay, we have Sasha Colby and Jax. They didn't get much screen time, but the time they had, they were relatively funny. For the worst of the group, we have to start off with Sugar's Trisha Paytas. It was obvious Ru had no idea who Trisha was, which is the main reason I think he didn't find it funny. As someone who is more familiar with who Trisha is, I thought the performance was relatively safe, with some highlights including asking Ru for his body count as well as the whole born again virgin bit. RuPaul, though, seemed very annoyed with her throughout, though, so she's definitely in the bottom. Next is Spice as Miley Cyrus, and this performance just gives me so much secondhand embarrassment. I hate it so much. There's a couple references to Miley's past that kind of work, but overall, Spice's characterization of Miley was just annoying and way too much. Finally, we have Aura Mayari's performance as Bretman Rock. Aura's jokes all fall flat, but I also think that also in part has to do with RuPaul not really having fun with Aura. For example, Aura asks Ru if he knows that her character is a singer-songwriter. He goes, "I didn't, but now I do." Aura then says she has a song prepared. Ru seems less than excited, which normally you would expect Ru to be happy to go along with it. Same for a later joke where Aura gives an answer in another language, claiming it to be a match. Instead of asking for a translation and setting up a joke, RuPaul just goes, "That wasn't a match. We have some Filipinos in the judges panel that can translate." Ru's lack of interest in Aura didn't help with the fact that she just didn't have much on terms of humor. With Snatch Game, we go back to the workroom where the girls are all getting ready for the runway. Lex is helping Marcia with taping her face in order to help improve her makeup journey. Marcia laments that she is ready for the makeup comments to be over. The runway theme for this episode is Beautiful Nightmare. Starting with Marcia, we have a dentist look. As someone who is very scared of dentists, I have a not so great history with them. I appreciated the costume. The main issue with this outfit is how it's costumey, but not in a fun camp way, but in a cheap Party City way. I do love the color combo with the boots though. The lavender and mint complement each other really well. Luxe Noir London is next, and I absolutely love this outfit. The makeup is amazing and the concept is just so creative. My only gripe is that I wish the waist down was also gray to match the upper body. I don't really understand why it isn't, but besides that, an amazing outfit. So far, Luxe has had a solid runway package. Next up is Malaysia Baby Doll Fox in another ball gown. Like I said last episode, I really want to see something different from her, but besides that, I don't really think this outfit fits the runway theme. The makeup definitely fits Beautiful Nightmare, but it comes off as Malaysia already had this look and just did some freaky makeup to go with it. Also, I think white gloves would have been a nice touch. Overall, I like the look, but I don't think it really matches the theme. Mistress Isabel Brooks is next, and I like this look for the most part. One thing I would change is not only would I make the cloth surrounding her waist more full, but I would have tried to give it a more cobweb look. So instead of just random cloth hanging from whatever you would call this, it would be like webs being built off of it. I know that's the idea Mistress was going for with the outfit, but I think it needed to be made more obvious. Besides that, I think the outfit is fine. Anitra is next, and she is serving you latex Black Widow Spider fantasy. I love it. The addition of the back adds a bit of camp and flair to an already beautiful gown. No complaints. 10 out of 10. Selena Estides is next, and I don't like it. It doesn't help that we've already seen a much better looking zombie with Lux. I get that the outfit is supposed to look rugged and smashed together, but I think a better look would have been a very torn apart look if you wanted to show some skin. I don't like it. Robin Fierce is serving another spider look. I'm getting beautiful, but not really any nightmare from it. However, I still love the look, and the makeup and hair with the gown is giving the evil stepmother, but in the Spider-Verse. I like it. Lucy LaDuca comes in, and she is giving cunty Jason Voorhees. As a slasher fan, I love this look. As a fan of drag, I love this look. All around amazing. I love how instead of just wearing the mask, doing a reveal with it, or just sticking it on the wig as a headpiece, she did something creative with it. The extension of her face with the mask works so well and creates this uncanny feeling with the look. Sasha Colby is next, and she is a witch. I like this look. It's hot. I will say it bugs me that the makeup is a different shade than the body, but I think it's intentional for the look, so I'll let it slide this time. Overall, pretty solid, and I love that she's both the witch and the broom at the same time. It's so creative. Jax is a snake hybrid thing, and just, no, I don't like it. The Snake Voldemort makeup is cool, and it gives off Snake, but that's really the only compliment I can give her. I get that the rest of the outfit is supposed to be like a goddess, but I think she should have just leaned into the snake aspect and given herself a scaled out bodysuit or have the cloth be scaly as if she's shedding the snake skin. Sugar is giving us creepy doll. I like this look. It reminds me of like pastel gore, and it's a look I could see as like a Monster High doll. I wish she leaned more into the porcelain aspect or painted some cracks on her to show that she's a bit aged like the porcelain doll she's holding, or just get rid of the prop entirely. Spice is up next, and she's serving up Cunty Marionette. It's giving those anime human designs with the puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's. I think this outfit is pretty solid, though I think it would have looked a little better if she had covered the stomach. Also, the addition of some strings trailing from the outfit would have really sold the puppet theming. Amethyst comes in and she's wearing a recreation of Lady Gaga's outfit from her paparazzi performance at the VMAs, blood and all. Y'all, this was such a gag. She looks absolutely stunning. This episode truly was Amethyst's redemption. She did great in the challenge and she killed the runway. Finally, we have Aura Mayari. Ignoring Aura's horrible acting. I mean, seriously, she's supposed to be crying, but it just looks like she's laughing or trying to take a shit. Anyways, I love this look. The simplicity of it just being a black gown up until the reveal of the spine. If the reveal had been presented better, it would have really completely sold the look. But still, pretty good. We get to the judging and we have our tops and bottoms of the week. The tops are Marsha, Mistress Isabel Brooks, and Lucy LaDuca, with the bottoms being Aura Mayari, Sugar, and Spice. Something to note is that Marsha gets some comments about the judges have noticed her makeup's improvement, with Rupaul mentioning that the brows and eyes look better. Michelle notes that although there's improvement, she still wants to see more. Speaking of Marsha, during the judges' deliberation and Untucked, her and Mistress get into an argument over which one of them did better. While they both agree Lucy probably won, they argue over which of them got second. Sugar and Spice also know that they are lip-syncing against each other, mainly because they knew production was going to make them lip-sync at some point, and tell everybody that they're going to both leave if one of them has to sashay away. The queens talk them out of it, saying that they have to stay for the other twin. The twins agree before prepping for the lip-sync. Another thing to point out is that in Untucked, Mistress is shown to be a sort of drag mother for the twins, becoming a mentor for them. Malaysia also mentors the twins, but this is seen less in the show. Outside of the show, the queens have mentioned that Spice is Malaysia's daughter, while Sugar is more of Mistress's daughter, but they have shared custody. It's a sweet relationship, honestly. Back to the main stage, and Lucy LaDuca is announced as the winner. Aura Mayari is saved, and Sugar and Spice have to lip sync for their life to You Better Run by Pat Benatar. This is some foreshadowing for future episodes, but there's a curse associated with anybody that has to lip sync against Spice. Basically, if you lip sync against Spice, no matter your skill, you will do bad. Sugar and Spice already are not the best lip syncers, so the curse causes Sugar to fall down twice. The lip sync is really fun though, with the two having planned choreography in the number. The choreo mixed with their matching outfits makes the lip sync work even better. At one point, the two put in some gross fake teeth and just do a bit of the lip sync in that, which was definitely questionable to do mid lip sync, but whatever. Lip sync ends with Sugar chasing Spice around with the heel before the two end in an embrace. Not the greatest lip sync ever, but still a pretty fun one. Anyways, since she fell during the performance, Sugar is told to sashay away, leaving Spice to stay in the competition without her twin. It's bittersweet, with RuPaul mentioning that Sugar may have come into the competition with one sister, but she's leaving with 15. This pulls Sugar's story arc full circle, having her find the sisters and drag families she wanted to find in the competition.
Episode 5, House of Fashion. After Sugar's elimination, the girls re-enter the workroom. Spice cries to the other girls and in her confessional, saddened at the loss of her sister in the competition. Spice laments that Sugar was the more ballsy twin and that Sugar always stood up for her, with Spice feeling like she's not as strong. Mistress tries to console Spice, where Spice states that she thinks some of the other girls don't deserve to be in the competition over Sugar, but refuses to say who. The next day in the workroom, Aura asks Spice to elaborate on this statement, but Spice is cut off by RuPaul entering the workroom. Ru announces that today the girls will be doing the iconic mini challenge, the reading challenge. Basically, the queens have to playfully insult one another and whoever's best wins. I'm going to breeze through all of these real quick. Malaysia's first, that's okay. Amethyst, pretty funny. Selena, pretty good. Lex, solid job. Mistress, hilarious with great delivery. Jax, okay. Spice, pretty fun. Robin, fine. Marsha, really funny. Aura, not the best. Sasha Colby, okay. Nature's was cute. Not funny, but cute. But Lucy was hilarious. Funny as fuck. She uses dark humor, but it works really well. Lucy wins the reading challenge and $2,500. Ru announces the Maxi Challenge, where the queens will be split into 3 groups assigned to different houses. In the houses, there will be items that the queens can use to create looks for the runway. The looks have to be similar enough to each other that they could be in the same clothing line, showing the unity of the house. To pick the groups, the queens pick keys out of a box at random. Houses are based off the judges Michelle Visage, Carson Kressley, and the hilarious Ross Matthews. Team 1, the House of Kressley, consists of Robin Fierce, Selena Acides, Anitra, and Jax. The materials in this house are very country, consisting of leather and plaid. Team 2, the House of Matthews, consists of Lucy LaDuca, Sasha Colby, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, and Marsha. This house contains a lot of sunny and tropical patterns. Very beachy. Team 3, the House of Visage, consists of Aura Mayari, Lux Noir London, Mistress Isabel Brooks, Spice, and Amethyst. This house contains animal print, gold, and purples galore. The queens are sent into each house to collect their materials before going back to the workroom to work on them. Spice laments she is worried because Sugar was the seamstress out of the two of them, with Spice being the designer of the two. With Sugar gone, Spice isn't sure how well she'll do on her own. Malaysia is also worried, saying that she has never sewn a day in her life. She's just going to fake it until she makes it, hoping it all works out in the end. Rupaul comes in to talk to the girls and give some ideas. She asks Malaysia if she knows how to sew, with Malaysia saying she knows the basics. Rue then asks her if she knows how to put the little lever down. Malaysia has no clue what Rue is talking about, and for those who haven't sewn, let me tell you that is literally one of the first things they teach you with a sewing machine. The lever holds the fabric in place, and if the lever isn't down, the machine won't sew. So yeah, things aren't looking too good for Malaysia. When talking about the House of Visage, Rue asks who all sews. Spice and Amethyst are the only two to not raise their hands. Rue asks what they're going to do, and Amethyst says she's going to use a hot glue gun. Rue mentions that Amethyst hasn't won any challenges and has had to lip sync twice, basically letting Amethyst know that she better not screw up the challenge. Amethyst nods along, saying she knows her body and what works on it. The girls continue to work on their looks. Malaysia is struggling a bit, feeling the pressure and knowing that she's not really qualified to crush the challenge. Love struggles with the idea of sewing together a pair of pants for her outfit, knowing that the process is difficult and that it might not pay off. She ends up taking the risk, hoping for the best. Jazz confronts Spice about her previous statement about some girls not deserving to be in the competition over Sugar, with Spice saying that she didn't see the other group's snatch game and that she just assumed that somebody had to have done worse than Sugar there, and was just emotional in the moment. Cut to confessionals where Mistress is talking about having overheard the conversation where she says,
Spice, just say that you thought Aura was going to be in the bottom. Just end it. Just say it.
Directly following this is a confessional of Spice saying that she was in fact talking about Aura. Cut back to the girls working, and Amethyst asks Aura how her outfit looks. Aura says she dislikes the outfit and laments that Amethyst should have worn to sew before coming to the show since they knew it was coming. Lux, despite the load she already has with making her pants, decides to help Amethyst with her outfit, saying that their whole team needs to look good in order to serve a cohesive look. Lux is telling Amethyst what she should do, but Amethyst isn't understanding what Lux is saying. She feels insanely lost and knows she can't mess this up or else she'll be lip-syncing again, and since she's already lip-synced twice, she'll probably be sent home. The next day, as the girls are getting ready, Lucy asks how Amethyst is doing. Amethyst tells Lucy that she's doing well and is confident in her look. However, in the confessional, she laments how she's actually very nervous but is trying to hide it. Spice, on the other hand, is actually feeling confident. She says in her confessional that Sugar would be proud of what she put together, especially since the bar was on the floor with her sewing skills. Malaysia is also confident about her outfit, saying the drag gods delivered what they needed to deliver. The House of Visage is up first, with Mistress Isabel Brooks starting off. I like this outfit, but I feel like it's missing something to make it pop. I think if instead of silver jewelry, Mistress wore gold, it would have been a little better, especially since gold was a part of the house's color palette. Aura Mayari follows with the zebra print and gold outfit. I like the outfit, but I wish the cape was more formal, with it almost looking like those superhero capes you get at Six Flags that Velcro around the neck. Also, I think the outfit would have worked better as a one-piece dress rather than a two-piece. Amethyst comes in with a gold and leopard print look. I'm not a fan of the gray thing she's holding. I don't think it goes with the outfit or anything else we've seen so far from the house. If it was black, I think it would have worked better. It's not the best look ever, but it's pretty good for somebody who doesn't sew. Spice is next, and she's wearing a very simple zebra print two-piece. I will say I'm a fan of the purple, and the gold accent is a nice touch. However, I'm not a fan of the look. It's a bit too much with the purple stuff sticking out at all angles of the hair, the purple strings pulling the skirt together, and the ties that are a different skin tone than the rest of her body. Lex comes in next, and holy shit, she's got on these zebra print pants that look absolutely stunning. She's swishing around a purple cape, absolutely showing it off. The matching fabric in her hair is such a nice touch, and the gold jewelry works so well with it. Just such a good look. Overall, the house look is pretty cohesive. When the girls walk out, the outfits go from more gold to purple, and I think it's a nice gradient with the looks. The House of Presley is the next house to enter, starting off with Robin Fierce. Robin looks great. I mean this in the best way possible. This look is really giving me one of the Scottish warriors from Brave. The shoulder pad with the plaid hanging off of it is a nice addition. I also love the thigh-high boots. With the length of the skirt, I think it was important to show not too much leg in order to make the outfit look longer than it actually is. Jax is next, and she is serving up cunty plaid Heather Chandler. As someone who had a Heather's phase in middle school, I am absolutely living for this look. It's so fun, and I know exactly what it's referencing as soon as I see it. I also love the mullet with it. It's so fun. Nature follows up, and I absolutely love the top she's wearing. The bottoms are another story. I think you should have done more with them. There's just something lacking in that department for me, and I wish you'd done more with the bottom half of it. Closing out the house is Selena Estides, who has this huge comforter on her that turns into a cape train suspender thing. The outfit underneath the comforter is fine, but I think she should have thrown the comforter off. When the whole house comes out, Selena looks out of place due to the bulkiness of the comforter in comparison to everybody else's smaller outfits. Finally, we have the House of Matthews, starting with Sasha Colby in a leaf print swimsuit with flamingo print cover-up. She looks absolutely stunning and is serving the tropical vibe down. Lucy LaDuca is next, and right off the bat, I hate the string tied around the pants. It's such a messy knot. There's also no need for the ass out, and it's just kind of there. Also, not a huge fan of the blue part of the top. It doesn't match the blue on the pants and is just sort of there. Maybe she had split the top in 2 colors, it would have worked better, but yeah, I don't like it. Malaysia comes out next and she looks good, especially for her first garment. The pink and palm tree combo looks so nice. I don't have any complaints. I really like it. Marsha follows next, looking amazing. This is something I would see at a Florida resort, so totally giving the resort vibe their house was going for. The skirt flowing when she twirls is such a great touch. The simplicity of it is so fun. I love it. This house is definitely the most cohesive, though I will say the massive amounts of pink in Malaysia's outfit stand out a bit too much among the oranges and blues of everybody else. Who reveals that the queens will be judged individually, with the tops consisting of Lex Noir London, Sasha Colby, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, and Robin Fierce. The bottom consists of Amethyst, Lena Estides, and Jax. I heavily disagree with the placements of Robin and Jax. Don't get me wrong, Robin's outfit is nice, but I would have considered it just safe. Also, Jax should not have been in the bottom at all. The judges say they had trouble figuring out what character Jax was doing, but it was so blatantly obvious. I love it so much, and honestly, I would have put it in the top instead. Instead of Jax in the bottom, I would have put either Anitra or Spice. I love both of them, but their outfits were very lacking in my opinion. Speaking of judging, I don't normally talk about the guest judges since they don't make that much of an impact besides Ariana Grande. This week's guest judge was Janelle Monáe, and I think she was a great judge, giving really good critiques and advice. Anyways, the queens are brought back on stage where Luxmore London is announced as the winner of the challenge. Jax was announced as safe, leaving Selena and Amethyst to lip sync to Queen by Janelle Monáe in front of Janelle Monáe. Overall, pretty decent lip sync. Selena definitely won it for me, especially when, to the confusion of everybody, took off her skirt only to point at it to the lyrics, "Am I as tender with my skirt on the ground?" It was such a smart move for her to do. She also just completely embodied the song. Such a mesmerizing performance. So Selena is safe for another week, while Amethyst is told to sashay away.
Episode 6, Old Friends Gold.
After Amethyst's elimination, the girls talk and congratulate Lex for her win. In her confessional, Lex states that her, Anitra, Sasha, and Lucy are the front runners since they all have a challenge win. Malaysia expresses her joy about being in the top, only for Lex to tell her that she wasn't sure whether Malaysia was going to be in the top or bottom for the week. Mistress in her confessional also expresses that she thinks Malaysia is delusional. Malaysia isn't deterred, but tensions are definitely starting to rise between her and some of the other contestants. It's another day in the workroom, and Rue comes in to announce the Maxi Challenge, a girl group challenge where the girls have to get into their own granny girl groups and create their own verses to perform. Aura expresses that, as a dancer, she is excited for this challenge, especially since she has been safe every week and wants the judges to finally see her. Rue not only lets the queens pick their own teams, but also lets them pick what genre they want: country, hip-hop, or rock. Team 1 is Lucy LaDuca, Robin Fierce, Jax, and Anitra. Team 2 is Sasha Colby, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, Spice, and Aura Mayari. Team 3 consists of Mistress Isabel Brooks, Marsha, Lex Noir London, and Selena Estides. The team listens to all the songs, coming to the conclusion for which genre they want. While they're listening to the music, none of the groups seem to want country. Marsha announced that Team 3 would like to go with metal, which conflicts with Team 2, who also wants metal. Before an argument can start over who gets metal, Jax interjects and claims hip-hop for Team 1, making them Team Hip-Hop. After this, Mistress claims that Team 3 is taking metal, leaving Team 2 with country, but Malaysia is not backing down, saying that Team 2 wants metal. Both teams are claiming metal as their genre, with the other not backing down. Lex asks Team 2 why they have a problem with country, which causes Sasha to reply with her asking why Team 3 thinks they have the right to metal just because they want it. Lex asks Team 2 why they think they can even do metal. Malaysia says that she doesn't think she should have to sell the idea to Lex, and that they just need to decide who's going to do it. Lex states that they already chose what they were doing and that Team 2 should just adapt to the situation at hand. While this is all going on, we have Team Hip Hop, who is just sitting in between the groups, and Anitra and Robin are pretending to eat popcorn as they take in the drama. Jax is ping-ponging her head with the argument, and in a confessional, dubs the scandal Metalgate. Marsha decides that Metalgate needs to come to a resolution, offering a game of rock, paper, scissors as a means to an end. Malaysia, however, refuses, saying that somebody could cheat it, instead offering that they put genres in a hat and pick out of it. Mistress tries to interject, saying that they should just have metal, but Robin fears stops in, saying, rock, paper, scissors, or hat, getting a cap for the draw. Malaysia ends up drawing metal, making her team Team Metal. Lex picks country, making Team 3 Team Country. Malaysia is ecstatic that she won. Mistress, in confessional, questions why everybody was being so serious when everybody was just cutting up. This misunderstanding between tones is important for later. As the girls write their lyrics, Selena is having difficulties since she really doesn't listen to country. She's feeling really insecure and starts stressing. We cut to the girls recording their verses, and Robin is a little worried since although she is a vocalist, she does not consider herself a rapper. While recording her verse, Robin loses track of her lyrics, getting two in her head. Marcia reveals to her team that she has been on Broadway, which Selena mentions was a huge surprise in the confessionals. Keep Marcia's Broadway experience in mind and put a pin in it. Lex was told that her verse was one of the best in Drag Race history, setting the bar high for the rest of her teammates. Team Metal is feeling a lot of pressure to do good since they put up a good fight for the genre. Aura mentions that she is worried about recording her verse and she hasn't recorded like that before and is worried about damaging her voice. She also had trouble recording her verse, fumbling a good bit of the lines. The girls then have to get the choreo together. Team Hip Hop seems to have an issue with choreo since they seem to be more talking than doing, with most of their discussions shown to be about whether they should use walkers or not. Team Metal is working on their choreo and Mistress makes a comment.
Bitch, y'all fought for this?
This is that the choreo is lacking. She's worried for everybody but Sasha. The next day, the girls start to get ready for the challenge. Mistress goes over to talk to Malaysia and asks if Malaysia felt like they used metal to its fullest potential. Malaysia comments that she would not have fought that hard if she wasn't going to give it her all. Mistress turns to Sasha and tells her she did amazing. Malaysia is annoyed that Mistress pointed the compliment at Sasha and not the whole team. Mistress makes a comment about Malaysia's makeup and the two do a little back and forth. The two seem to be getting along better despite this, but Malaysia still seems annoyed at Mistress, while Mistress seems to be just joking the entire time, not really reading how Malaysia is feeling. Later on, Mistress makes some jokes about Malaysia's makeup and delusion, with Malaysia clapping back. In a confessional, Robin laments that she sometimes can't tell whether they're joking or not, and honestly, same. Sasha talks a bit about how a few decades ago people were getting arrested left and right for doing drag or being trans, and mentions how happy she is that she gets to not only be positive trans representation, but also the representation of a happy trans person living their life to the fullest. The girls perform their song, starting with Team Country. They absolutely kill it. I don't know what they would have done with metal, but I think it was for the best they got country. Everybody killed it with their verses with great enunciation. I got every word they said. Also, the choreo was fun. Overall, great number. It's going to be a tough act to follow. Team Metal is next, and I'm split on them. First off, Sasha Colby absolutely killed it, having her start set the bar a little too high though. While Aura was low-key able to meet it, Malaysia and Spice weren't. I don't remember anything about Malaysia's verse. It was just really bland. Spice had a pretty fun verse, but her dancing was too bouncy and youthful. Also, she dropped her cane and her hat during the performance. And I took theater in high school, and one of the main things my teacher drilled into us was when you drop a prop, you pick it up because the audience will fixate on it. Hat and cane just sitting on the front of the stage drove me crazy. Honestly, I think the worst part of it all was Spice's air guitar that literally looked like she was just playing a cartoon banjo. It was giving paper jams, not hard rocker. Finally, we have Team Hip Hop, who is okay. Lucy definitely did the best out of all of them, but that's because everybody else took it a bit too seriously. Don't get me wrong, everybody's lyrics were on point, but the dancers of the group, aka literally everybody but Lucy, were doing dips and splits. Robin literally does a death drop and gets back up like right after. Like, y'all are supposed to be old, move like it. Also, I think the verses would have benefited from an older kind of voice on them. Everyone does a normal voice except for Lucy, and with the dancing, it just doesn't work. Also, Anitra literally forgets part of her lyrics, and her lip syncing is so off at certain points of it. Today's runway is tie-dye to die for, and first up is Anitra. Look, I know this is a controversial opinion, but I don't actually mind this look. Is it the best? Absolutely not. It could definitely use a bit of reworking. I would add some tie-dye to the sleeves since they're already on the thighs. I really liked the glitter around her butterfly tattoo. It was a really nice touch. Next is Jax, and yes, I know this look is awful, but I love it for that. It's serving getting slammed at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and honestly, icon behavior. Lucy LaDuca is up next, and I like this outfit. It's a nice, cool colored dress with a fun shape. I also love her eye makeup with the mismatched colors. Robin Fierce comes in and looks stunning as per usual. I love this dress so much. It's such a nice color. I also like the belt and how it matches the shoes. I do wish that the dress went a bit lower, especially on the left side where it cuts off a lot higher than the other side of the dress. Mistress is next, and I don't like it. I see the vision, but I think it needs some work. First off, I like the gems on the shoulder. I think they're fun. I also like the idea with the cape, but it literally just looks like fabric tied around Mistress over a bodysuit. Lex comes onto the runway with a reveal. I like the outfit, but I think it should have been a different pattern than the original thing she was wearing before the reveal, since she has it hang off her shoulders behind her for the rest of the runway. It makes the patterns blend together and ruins the shape of the outfit. Also, I think the ostrich feathers are a bit much, and the outfit could go without them. I also love how the hair is tie-dyed. It wasn't needed, but it was such a good touch. Selena Cities comes in next. She looks pretty good. I like the concept and the execution of it. I think the wig could be different, either sticking with an all blue or red instead of the green, blue, and purple she wears, since the green and purple don't really match with anything in the outfit. I do also wish the seashell part had more of a curve surrounding it to give it more of a conch shell look, but that's honestly a nitpick if anything. I like it. Marsha is next, and she's referencing the iconic Brady Bunch scene where her namesake, Marsha Brady, gets hit in the face with a football. The same scene she referenced with her entrance look and entrance line. I like the reference and the idea behind it, but I don't know how to feel about the outfit. I like the idea of a giant blood spatter, and I think it's cute. I think the main problem I have with it is the blood dripping from the nose, but I also get that it's trying to be cartoonish. I don't know, I think I would have liked it better if it was tie-dyed to look like blood, since it doesn't have any tie-dye in it, and doesn't really match the theme. Sasha Colby looks absolutely gorgeous. I have no complaints, only love. I mean, just look at it. The way the corset lines up with the bodysuit is amazing. Just absolutely stunning. Laura is next and is serving a suit moment. I love this outfit, and it's honestly something I would wear. I'm a little conflicted on the hair, though. On one hand, I don't like it. On the other hand, I don't know what other hair would work with this without blending into the black on the tie-dye. Speaking of black, I wish she had a black top instead of just the chain over her chest. Spice looks great. I love the vibe I'm getting here. I do wish the wig was black to match the rest of the outfit and give some Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls, but the red works too, especially since it matches the lip. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox is last, and I don't like it. First off, it's another gown. I want something different from her so bad. Also, I just don't like the massive amounts of pink in it. It's not that I hate pink, but we got so much pink from her outfit last week that it's like, I've already seen a pink gown on you. If it was a light blue, I probably would have liked it a lot more. Judges announced the tops and bottoms of the week, with Sasha Colby, Aura Mayari, and Mistress Isabel Brooks representing the tops, with Anitra, Robin Fierce, and Jax in the bottom. So basically the entire hip-hop group but Lucy is in the bottom, which I honestly agree with. Ru also tells Mistress to tell Marsha to put on more makeup before being sent backstage while the judges deliberate. During said deliberation, there's a fight in Untucked. Marsha, Lex, and Malaysia start to discuss Metalgate, where Malaysia says that she was feeling bullied by the country group. Lex says that maybe they shouldn't use the word bully and that the metal group was also fighting back. Marsha, in an attempt to move on from the conversation, cuts Malaysia off, saying that she is tired of talking about the situation. Malaysia goes off, understandably upset at Marsha for shutting her down. Marsha apologizes, with Malaysia going on a bit more about how she is going to stand her ground. The girls go back to the main stage and Aura Mayari is announced as the winner. This is really visible when the judges were talking about her in the deliberation, but this win was supposed to be a turning point for Aura in the game. But since Aura doesn't do that well in the rest of the season, it doesn't work well thematically. Honestly, the win should have just gone to Sasha Colby. She had this challenge in the bag and carried the energy for her entire group. This one was so controversial when it happened, and honestly, it still is. I just don't get it, but like, good for her, I guess. Anyways, Anitra is safe from the bottom three, leaving Jax and Robin to lip sync for their life to In Your Room by the Bangles. Y'all, this one was close. They both performed the house down. Jax wins the lip sync for me because she just has this way of capturing the emotion of song in her face. She does it perfectly for this one, and also her dancing is just so on point. She truly is a lip sync assassin and is such an underrated performer in the fandom. Jax wins the lip sync, which means sadly Robin Fierce has to sashay away. Episode 7, The Daytona Win 2. After Robin's elimination, the girls re-enter the workroom. Robin left a message on the mirror encouraging Lucy to win the competition. Mistress makes the comment that Robin was delusional for thinking that Lucy could win, prompting Lucy to reply that she's won the most money out of everybody so far. The girls then sit down and chat about how they felt about the judging. Lucy asks if anybody felt like they should have been in the top, which Mistress replies that although she was in the top, she was expecting the rest of her group to be there as well. Honestly, the challenge was judged in groups rather than individually. I think the country group would have won. Mistress also talks about how she appreciates what the judges have been telling her about her looks and makeup, but that she has a message from Marsha about her makeup. She quotes the judges saying that Marsha needs to put more makeup on. Mistress also offers to help Marsha with her makeup. Marsha thanks Mistress, appreciating the help. She also mentions that while she appreciates the critique, she wishes the judges would be more specific, telling her where exactly they want to see more. While Marsha appreciates Mistress's help, she also states in her confessional that Marsha's style isn't as big and draggy as Mistress's. While she's open to receive help, she has to stick to her style. Mistress also comments that she heard that something happened in Untucked, prompting Lux to explain the argument between her, Marsha, and Malaysia. Mistress asks Malaysia, who is visibly annoyed, what she thinks. Malaysia says that Lux said what she said. Mistress says to Malaysia that the reason she was laughing throughout Metalgate was because she didn't see the situation as that serious and didn't understand why Malaysia's team was taking it so seriously. Sasha interjects, telling Mistress that it came off as patronizing and Mistress was laughing while the other team was trying to come up with a solution. Lux replies saying that if she knew that was how the other team was feeling, she would have reacted differently, with Spice also saying she didn't think the situation was that serious either. Mistress apologizes to Malaysia, telling her that if she has an issue with Mistress, she can just say it, and Mistress will try to understand. However, Mistress also states that she doesn't appreciate Malaysia talking about it behind her back, saying that those feelings should be stated to her face. Sasha expresses gratitude at how they were able to resolve the argument, but Malaysia stays silent, still visibly annoyed. Mistress says that her and Sasha were able to use their words to resolve the issue, and it's fine if Malaysia doesn't want to talk, but she has to express that to Mistress. Malaysia tells Mistress that the situation isn't funny and that she shouldn't be laughing, prompting Mistress to reply that the reason she's laughing now is because Malaysia is refusing to respond and it's making the situation awkward. The two go back and forth again, reiterating their points until Malaysia raises her voice. Mistress states that she's done with the conversation and tells Malaysia to have a blessed night. The next day, the girls gather in the workroom where Rue enters and announces the Maxi Challenge. The queens are going to act in a soap opera parody called the Daytona Wind, a reboot of a challenge with the same name from the previous season. Since Aura won the Maxi Challenge last week, she gets to assign the roles. Aura decides to let the girls pick their roles for themselves, and she'll mediate from there. Right off the bat, it's established that Fancy Michaels is the role to get, being the biggest role. Selena, Lucy, Lux, and Mistress all say they want the role. Aura shuts them down, saying that she wants the role of Fancy, saying that the over-the-top character is something Aura hasn't done before. Jax decides to take the role of Jackson, described as a massive stoner. Keep this description in mind for later. The girls separate with their scene partners and read through their scenes. Malaysia and Mistress are scene partners alongside Jax and Aura. The girls in the room take notice of this, with Selena, Marsha, and Anitra all cackling about how awkward it's going to be for them. Lux is ecstatic about them being in the same scene, hoping that they don't work well together. Aura, Jax, Mistress, and Malaysia start to read through their scene. Right off the bat, there's a major disconnect between Aura and the numerous Drag Race references in the script. This will happen a few more times throughout the episode, but Aura doesn't understand any of the Drag Race references, which, since it's a comedy acting challenge, there are a lot of them. Mistress suggests that Aura should take a different role since she isn't connecting to Fancy's lines, suggesting that they swap. Aura agrees, with Mistress getting the role she initially wanted. Spice is hoping to redeem herself from her Miley Cyrus Snatch game, hoping to show the judges that she can actually do a more country-type role. The girls go to film their scenes with Rue directing. Spice is having trouble with the timing of her lines. Rue tries to help her with direction, but Spice has trouble taking it in. Malaysia also struggles with her lines. She doesn't know them all and is instead relying on the teleprompter to fill in the gaps, which would be fine, except she's wearing these glasses that make it hard to see the words. Once she gets her lines down and takes Rue's direction, however, she starts to thrive, contrasting Spice. Rue tells Jax that she needs to give more to her character. Jax takes the direction, but also mentions that the character description given was a stoner, and the direction Rue gave her didn't seem to match that description. The example of how to deliver the line Rue gave her, at least in my opinion, doesn't match the role description at all. Jax, who was playing the role pretty well fitting the description, is now trying to do a hybrid of a stoner and a party girl, which is just really awkward. Mistress and Malaysia turn out to be excellent scene partners, improving back and forth to Rue's enjoyment. Aura follows up in the next scene and not only fumbles her lines, but is once again not connecting to the Drag Race references. The main line she fumbles with is a reference to Aquaria's Snatch game in Season 10, where she says, "Any hole is a goal." Aura fumbles this line hard, giving us many variations such as "any hole is a hole" and "any hole is goal." So yeah, things aren't looking good. The next day, the girls are getting ready for the runway, where Malaysia sits next to Mistress at the makeup mirror. Malaysia decides to open up to Mistress, saying that while they normally play around, she felt like Mistress wasn't being nice in that particular argument. Mistress understands but says that the verbiage Malaysia used when describing the situation as bullying could very easily be misconstrued. Malaysia apologizes for not being clear about her feelings, and the two finally make up, putting an end to Metalgate. Before we see the challenge, the queens take to the runway with the theme Puffer Please. Lucy LaDuca is first, and I am living for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of it all. Overall, really fun look. Spice is next, and I like this look. I do wish she leaned into the whole cold thing a bit more and had a bigger puffy coat with a hood or something like that. I feel like that would seal the deal for me. Sasha Colby is next, and I love this outfit. I do think it looks a little blobby when the jacket is just resting together, but once she pulled it back a little and revealed the bit underneath, it came together really well. Lux Noir London looks absolutely adorable in this look. I love this, especially the little bob moment. The only thing I don't like is the purse with the fake balloon. The color doesn't match anything else on the outfit, and is just kind of there. Besides that, 10 out of 10. Malaysia is next, and she's not wearing a gown this time. We're also getting a different shape, though it is a bit similar to the one she made for the design challenge, but I won't put that against her. I also wish the pattern on the cape was different from the dress, so it's not just lemon pattern everywhere, but I still like the outfit. Aura Mayari looks stunning. I love how she implemented the puffer theme into her outfit. Overall, great look, no complaints. Jax is serving a bee fantasy, and honestly, I'm living for it. I love how she didn't just use plain black and yellow patterns, and instead used a bandana pattern for each color. It just adds that extra bit of flair that really seals the deal for me. Mistress Isabel Brooks is next, and I like this one as well. My only complaint is that the bucket hat has a weird shape to it. The proportions of it are wrong, with the top being too tall and the flaps being too long. Maybe that was the intention, but it just looks off to me. Nitra is next, and I like it. She mentions the puffer jacket she's wearing has patterns on it with little yin-yangs, but they are really hard to see. I think maybe if she just went around the pattern with black or silver, it would have helped them stand out more and added that extra oomph. Marcia is next with another cold look. I like the monocolor as well as the frostbitten makeup. However, I think she should have gone really camp with it and painted her face in body blue to show that she's actually frozen. Obviously, that's a lot of work, so I get why she didn't, but I think that really would have pulled the outfit together. Selena Cities looks really good. I like the idea and the execution of it. I do think the coochie pocket was an unneeded touch, but whatever, it's still a fun look. Now that the queens are all on stage, it's time for everybody to see the Daytona Win 2. For some reason, the extended cut has these long, awkward pauses, which I guess is to be like a prank on the queens. For context, in season 14, when they did the challenge, they didn't tell the queens that they were adding fart noises into the production as a prank. I'm guessing that was the intent here, but it doesn't really work. Anyways, I'm just going to breeze through everybody's performances real quick. Selena and Sasha were funny with the few lines they had. Lex had a few lines too with some weird delivery, very hit or miss depending on the line. Lucy was fun, but not a major player. Spice had some weird deliveries and was a bit too much with the body language. Jax also had some weird deliveries and was just sort of there. Aura wasn't good. Mistress was amazing, and Malaysia killed every scene she was in. Nitra and Marcia only had one scene, but it was my favorite in the skit. They killed it. The judges announced the tops and bottoms of the week, with the tops consisting of Malaysia, Mistress, Marcia, and Anitra, with the bottoms being Jax, Aura, and Spice. Spice gets a note from Michelle telling her to do something different from the runway every week since Spice has done a little trot every time she's had to walk it. Michelle makes a comment that Jax really didn't have a well-rounded character and was just saying lines. Jax reiterates that she was confused because what Rue wanted was different from what she got from the character description. Jax was done so dirty this episode. If the character description was different, she would have had a better grasp of what to do instead of having to change everything on the fly. I understand her being in the bottom, but the lead up to it is so frustrating. The judges tell Marcia that she still has room for improvement on her makeup, but that they've noticed it. Rue even gives some specific examples of what Marcia did differently to her face this time. After the judges deliberate, Mistress is announced as the winner. I will say that I would have given it to Malaysia, but Mistress also gave a solid job, so I don't mind. Spice is announced as safe and trots to the back of the stage, getting a look of annoyance from Michelle and a comment from Rue.
Cue the sniper!
This leaves Aura and Jax lip sync for their lives with Sweetest Pie by Dua Lipa and Megan Thee Stallion. Jax literally kills it. Like, if you haven't seen the full cut of this lip sync, go watch it immediately. Jax ate it up and left 0 crumbs. Aura does a decent job, but her outfit looks god-awful without the quote. Plus, she didn't know the words at all, so yeah. Jax is saved and Aura is told to sashay away. I will say that Aura's win in the last episode was definitely a setup for her to start doing a better job, but it didn't pay off, and it was such a waste to give it to her instead of Sasha, because it ended up serving no narrative purpose whatsoever. Overall, some weird production meddling. Episode 8, Lip Sync Lala Perusa's Smackdown. After Aura's elimination, the girls say that Jax has really solidified herself as a lip sync assassin. Mistress is congratulated for her win, but Lucy is mad that she was just safe. Mistress says who she wants to be in her top 4. Not saying Lucy. But in a confessional, Mistress says that she does see Lucy being in the top 4, but she wanted to play with Lucy since she was already in her head. Spice also mentions that she's ready to stop being safe and enter her top era, a point she reiterates the next day in the workroom. Lucy asks if anybody is mad about not winning a challenge yet, and Jax shoots her hand up. Mistress counters, asking if Jax is as angry about not winning as Lucy was about the last challenge.
Jax mentions that while Lucy was complaining about being safe, she was ready for Lucy to just stop talking, so probably no. The girls all express their annoyance about Lucy's anger at just being safe and her delusion that she deserved better. RuPaul comes in and announces the Maxi Challenge is a lip-sync Lollapalooza, where the queens have to lip-sync against each other in a battle royale style until one queen has to go home. While the queens get ready, it's established who the 3 targets are for the other queens. Lucy and Spice are obvious choices since they aren't the strongest lip-syncers. Marcia is the final target mentioned, which is shocking to me since it's been established that Marcia has literally been on Broadway. Also, Marcia was literally in the talent show for a dance number, so I don't know why more people aren't scared of her. The main threats are Sasha and Anitra, since Sasha is literally a legend and Anitra won the talent show. The queens all come out in some lip-sync attire, and Rue announces that the first queen to go up will be selected at random. Malaysia's name comes up first. Malaysia is then given the ability to choose who she lip-syncs against. She ends up picking Marcia, which is very surprising to me since, once again, we've seen Marcia perform already and do a great job. Marcia is given the choice between 5 songs to pick from: Boys Don't Cry by Anita, Don't Go Yet by Camila Cabello, Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dayne, The Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams, Do You Wanna Touch Me by Joan Jett, I'm in Love with a Monster by Fifth Harmony, and It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion. These are going to be the songs throughout the rest of the episode. Marcia picks Boys Don't Cry by Anita. This lip sync got me hooked on this song, so I'm a little biased, but it is so good. Malaysia starts off the song strong, but once the chorus hits and Marcia starts doing her flips, it is over for Malaysia. At one point, Malaysia is doing these really stiff high kicks as like her stunt for the number. Then Marcia comes over, it is a high kick that looks so effortless, it's literally parallel to her body. It's crazy. Marcia literally devoured this number, and it's not shocking that she's announced as the winner of the lip sync, marking her as the first safe queen of the Lollapalooza. Malaysia is sent to stand with the other queens still in the game. The next queen's name to be picked is Lucy LaDuca, who picks Spice as her opponent. Spice picks Do You Wanna Touch Me by Joan Jett. Now, a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned the Spice effect, where whoever she is lip-syncing against immediately becomes worse. Well, Lucy is spared here. Spoilers, but this is Lucy's best lip-sync this season, which isn't saying much since it's just an okay lip-sync. They both lack the full energy for the song, but Lucy delivers enough to win and is deemed safe, leaving Spice to continue to lip-sync for her life. Lux is the next name picked, and she picks Lena Estides as her opponent, to everybody else's surprise. Selena picks It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion, since she does it often in her hometown. Lux holds her own, but Selena really owned this lip-sync. She manages to mix humor into it while also serving the emotion of the song. It's such a good lip-sync. Like I said, Lux was solid, but she stood no chance against Selena on this one, so Selena is safe and Lux has to lip-sync again. Mistress's name is picked next, and she chooses Jax to lip-sync against. Jax picks Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dayne. Jax gives it 110% and is turning it out. Mistress is giving the emotion of the song, as well as a reveal moment. The original cut of this lip-sync was more even, with the audience split as to who won. The Queen's backstage think it's going to be Jax, and the edit makes it look like Jax is going to win, showing more of her amazing stunts. Mistress, however, is saved. Like I said a second ago, the fandom was pretty split on who won this, and I think it comes down to the style of drag performance you like more. Personally, I love a stunt, so I gravitate more towards performances like those more than the emotional ones, so I enjoyed what Jax gave more. Anyways, Mistress is safe and heads to the back with the other safe girls who have been watching the lip syncs from the comfort of a couch. They are all shocked to see Mistress safe, which she takes note of but isn't deterred. Mistress mentioned she picked Jax because she knew Jax was going to pick the song she wanted to do. Lucy mentions that was the same reason she picked Spice, saying she thought Spice was going to pick Celine Dion. The other girls immediately call BS, knowing 1, that Lucy just picked Spice because she was the weakest lip syncer, and 2, that Spice would never in a million years pick a ballad to lip sync to. Anyways, Anitra and Sasha are left as the last 2 to lip sync in the first round. The safe girls are all gawking in anticipation, just waiting for the show, not even caring about the competition. As somebody who has seen them both perform live, including Sasha wearing this exact outfit, I don't blame them. Anitra's name is picked, giving her the chance to pick out the song. She chooses I'm in Love with a Monster by Fifth Harmony. Oh my god, this is such a good lip sync. These two absolutely kill it. Sasha's serving with her hairography and just owning the stage with her presence. Anitra is stunting around and just having an absolute blast. It's a close call, but the win goes to Sasha, leaving Anitra still in the competition. With 5 queens left, we enter the second bracket of the Lollapalooza. Malaysia's name is picked again, and this time she picks Spice as her opponent. Spice picks the song Don't Go Yet by Camila Cabello, since she knows Malaysia doesn't know the words to it. Now, you might think that this is a brilliant idea, and I did too. That was until the song started, and Spice realized that she also didn't know the words to the song. So yeah, this lip sync is a chaotic mess,
And I already mentioned the Spice Curse, which is in full effect here. Malaysia is lacking energy and is just kind of twirling around while Spice is giving energy, but the dancing is so off. It is such a mess, and I honestly live for every second. It's so bad. It's the best thing I've ever seen. Anyways, Malaysia is saved, leaving Spice to lip sync for her life. When Malaysia goes backstage, Marsha asks why Malaysia initially picked her to lip sync. Malaysia says that she just blanked out and picked Marsha because she was standing right next to her. Selena calls BS, but the conversation is interrupted by the next lip sync. Lux, Anitra, and Jax are all remaining and have to do a three-way lip sync to The Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams. I was worried for Lux since she's going against two powerhouses, but she owns this lip sync. I think it definitely helped that Jax didn't know all the words, plus she wasn't doing a lot of her stunts. And Untucked, you can see she has a wrist brace on, so I think she injured herself during Tell It to My Heart and could do any stunts from there. Anitra also relies way too much on the splits, and after the third one, I was like, okay, I need something different. Lux was serving the whole time, and it's not surprising that she is announced as the winner. We bring Spice back onto the stage with Jackson and Anitra, our bottom three. Rue announces that one queen's name will be picked at random, and that queen will get to save which of the other two queens they want. Anitra's name is picked, and she decides to save Spice. Her reasoning being that it simply wouldn't be fair to lip sync against Spice. Spice goes to the back, and all the saved queens are happy to see her, thinking she was going to go home. Jax isn't happy about not being saved, but is determined to beat Anitra. The two lip sync to Finally by CeCe Peniston. This one was really close, with both of them giving it their all. Truthfully, I think the main deciding factor in who won was Jax had already lip synced in the past two episodes, since she was in the bottom two this episode with such a close lip sync. It really only made sense to send her home. I think she should have stayed a bit longer, mainly because she won Tell It to My Heart for me. I understand it was her time to go. Anitra was announced as the winner, and Jax is told to sashay away. I just want to do a quick side tangent about Anitra and Jax and the fandom as a whole. I love both of these queens so much. I've even had the chance to see and meet Anitra a few months ago, so I mean this with no negativity towards her. But if Anitra had not been in this season, I firmly believe that Jax would be given more recognition as a performer. For those who weren't watching the show as it aired, Anitra was a fan favorite. Winning the talent show and just having a good presence really helped, but this episode solidified it. The twins were also huge with the fandom, and Anitra saving Spice really increased the fandom's love for her. Jax, on the other hand, already had some drama with Sugar that didn't help her view in the fandom. I also think the lack of recognition Jax gets just has to do with the racism we see in the Drag Race fandom. She's constantly active on social media, yet the fandom hardly makes notice of it. I'm really happy we ended up with this extended cut of the season so we could see more of her, and it really sucks to see her be done so dirty these past two episodes. But anyways, we have to move on to the 200th episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Episode 9, The Crystal Ball. It's the next day in the workroom, and Rue comes in to announce the mini-challenge. To celebrate the 200th episode, the queens will be using a green screen to insert themselves into iconic Drag Race moments. I'm just going to skip over this since it's not really important to the overall plot of the episode. After Anitra wins the mini-challenge, Rue announces that this episode the girls will be doing a ball, serving 3 different looks, one of which they will be making themselves. The first look will be Start Your Engines, an updated version of Rue's classic racing suit. The second look is the queen's interpretation of another Drag Race ball from before, such as the Ball Ball, the Money Ball, and Sugar Ball. The third look is the one the queens will be making themselves, creating a look that screams Crystal. Mistress goes to help Spice with her outfit, which Spice really appreciates. Mistress, however, is mainly helping in order to take some of Spice's materials since she wasn't satisfied with the material she initially got. Lux is stressed about there being high expectations being put on her since she won the last design challenge. In order to do so, she decides to make an outfit with as little fabric as possible. She's worried she won't have the time to finish. Plus, if something goes wrong, she won't have a backup to lean on. Rue and Carson come into the workroom to talk to the girls. They tell Spice that she needs to switch up her looks a bit, changing the shape and adding more personality to it. They also talk to Selena and tell her that she needs to simplify her design, that her style isn't the best so she should dial it down while still making a good look. While talking with Lucy, Rue asks her who she thinks her biggest competition for the sewing challenge is. Lucy says Marsha, which Marsha is grateful for, until Rue and Carson respond in disbelief. Marsha realizes Rue and Carson don't see her as a threat. After Rue leaves, Mistress asks Lucy how she is feeling about the challenge. Lucy says she feels confident. Mistress says that that's good, since Lucy was so angry and upset over not winning the Daytona Wins challenge. In confessionals, Lucy states that she knows Mistress is trying to get in her head, but she won't let herself get deterred. Okay, so for the ball, I'm going to switch things up. Instead of going look to look, I'm going to be going queen to queen and talking about each of their looks in threes. We've got 27 looks to go through, so let's just get started. First off is Anitra. I love the color she chose for the Start Your Engines look. It's a color you don't expect to work, but it does. Also, love the flags on the fit. Her Sugar Ball look, though? Yeah, I hate it. There's not enough happening, and anything that is happening on the outfit is just sort of there. It's just a no from me. But this crystallized eleganza look, holy shit. When Anisha turned around and that spine came out, I was shook. Also, I love the super low collar and its lining. It's just so nice and completely makes up for how bad her sugar ball look was. Next is Lucy LaDuca, and I get what she was going for with the Start Your Engines look, but I still don't like it. It gives Racer, sure, but I'm not getting Rue's original look from it. I also don't understand why there's a pattern on the crotch area. Her back ball look is cute. It's giving Midsummer, but like a cheap home cosplay. Her Crystal Eleganza look was really fun, and it was nice to see her poke fun at herself. Also, the pink complements the silver in the outfit really well. Lux is next with their Start Your Engines look. Low-key, this outfit is giving me more jockey than car racer, but that's okay. Her hairball look is pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. Finally, we have her crystal look, and I am living. She's serving Ice Fairy in the best way possible. Knowing that there isn't any fabric also just makes this outfit really impressive. I love it. Overall, pretty solid runway package. Malaysia is next, and I hate to say it, but her Start Your Engines look is screaming Among Us to me once she took the helmet off. It's probably the stars and the belt, but it gives me more astronaut. She also does a hairball look, and I like the top half of the outfit. Once we get to the hair, however, it just gets unorganized. The layering is really off, and I don't like it. I also don't like her crystal eleganza. The cutoff is too high, leaving her shoes showing at an awkward length. And there's way too much going on top of the outfit, and nothing going on below the belt. I don't like it. Overall, bad runway package. Marsha's Start Your Engines look is so fun. I'm living for the pastels, and that hair is everything. For her ball look, she does the bag ball, and it's serving little German orphan girl realness, I guess. It's something I would expect to see in a high school theater production of Into the Woods, not the main stage. I'm also not a big fan of her Crystal Eleganza look. I don't like how the pearls are just hanging on her arms. I also don't like how there's just fabric on the sides making a half skirt. And also, same thing as Lucy, I don't understand why there's a pattern on the crotch. I don't like it, and it doesn't make sense. I think Marcia should have leaned into the ballerina aspect of her outfit and done a full tutu instead of 3/4 of a skirt she did. Sure, it would have been more similar to Lex in that regard, but it would have looked so much better. Like, I have no idea what this is supposed to be giving. Mistress Isabel Brooks is up next, and I love this racer look. It's got some iconic quotes from other plus-size queens in the franchise, which is very well timed for the 200th episode. I also love her ball look. The beach balls are really fun, and the ponytail is just the cherry on top. Her crystal look is definitely the weakest of them, with it being a white gown with some crystals on the trim and the chest. But it's still stunning, and I love it. Next is Selena as Cities, and I like this racer look. The only thing I would change is for the hair to be blonde to stick to the bright colors that the suit has. For her ball look, she does the money ball and wears a gown covered in custom Selena Estides currency. I can respect the time it must have taken to make the custom money, but this outfit is a mess and a half. It's literally just a money blob. And for her crystallized look, yikes. The fabric is so bunched up, also it's just not screaming crystal. I get that the trim is shiny, but that's all it is for me. Next is Sasha Colby, and she's serving a gown version of the Start Your Engines look. I've seen this outfit in person, and let me tell you, it is even more beautiful than on screen. This was such a creative interpretation of the racer suit. Her bag ball look was cute too. I love the camp of it, especially since we haven't really seen camp in any of Sasha's looks so far. Her crystal look is amazing, once again showing us that she's a goddess. Like, that bitch is a goddess. Last up, we have Spice, and I think this racer look is cute, but it's also giving me waitress at a gimmick diner, like if Hooters and Checkers had a baby. Her ball look is a ball, and it's fine. It's just an average Spice look with some balls glued onto it. She's also holding a disco ball as her purse for the ball look. A disco ball she covers with strands of crystal to reuse for her Crystal Eleganza look. I don't hate this look, but it's obviously barely being kept together. The sides of the skirt alone are just so sloppy. So the judges announced the tops and bottoms of the week, with Anitra, Sasha, and Mistress being in the top, and the bottom consisting of Spice, Selena, and Lucy. I can agree, but I wish I could have also put Lux in the top as well. Michelle mentions to Spice that she noticed that Spice fought the urge to trot on the runway. She also tells Anitra that she has a resting bitch face and that she should work on it. Anyways, the judges deliberate and then announce Sasha as the winner. Although I loved Anitra's gown more, I understand that her sugar ball look wasn't good, so it's understandable why Sasha got the win. Rue announces Lucy is safe, leaving Selena and Spice to lip sync for their life to That's What I Want by Lil Nas X. I mean, starting off, this was just an awful choice for a lip sync song. Then you have Spice and her lip sync curse, which affects Selena horribly. Selena tries to give a really theatrical take on the song, but she's treating it like a ballad, and there's this huge disconnect. Then you have Spice, who's doing a little TikTok thing where she mainly just stands or steps around a bit and points. It's a bad lip sync, and not like Don't Go Yet bad, where it was at least fun. It's just bad. Selena's announced the winner after a lackluster lip sync, and Spice is sent home. After Spice leaves, the other queens trot down the main stage in her honor.
Episode 10, 50/50's most gag-worthy stars. Following Spice's elimination, Mistress laments that Spice was like a daughter to her, but admits that it was Spice's time to go. The girls congratulate Sasha on her win, but Lucy makes a comment saying she's already won 3 challenges. The girls are confused since, no, Lucy has only won 1 maxi challenge, the ones that count. In a confessional, Lucy states that she has won 2 mini challenges and a main, which adds up to 3. She feels like the girls are overlooking her wins and aren't seeing her as a strong competitor she feels she is. While Lucy is talking, Mistress starts laughing, and in a confessional, Mistress says that she can't help but laugh at what Lucy is saying since in her eyes, Lucy is being fake. Mistress tells Lucy that she's happy Lucy is entering her bitch era, prompting a confessional from Lucy where she says she thinks Mistress is projecting onto her. Marcia, when asked on how she was feeling, laments that she felt like she should have been in the top and could have even won. Lucy, at hearing this, says in a confessional that she doesn't understand why she's the only one that's not allowed to be upset at their placement in the competition. Lucy pokes Mistress and whispers, asking Mistress if she's going to attack Marcia. Marcia sees this, stops talking, and addresses that there's something going on with the 2 in the corner. Mistress apologizes, saying that Lucy wanted Mistress to attack her, and
There goes Lucy being a bitch again.
Selena and Malaysia talk one-on-one, with Selena mentioning that them 2 and Marcia are the only girls left that haven't won a challenge yet. The 2 are ready to win a challenge and are determined to do so this week. The next day in the workroom, Anitra mentions that she's going to work on her resting bitch face and appear more chipper. Rue comes in and announces the Maxi Challenge, that the queens will be interviewing famous celebrities Frankie Grande, Charo, and Love Connie. Selena is very excited for the challenge since she has experience in interviewing, having had a podcast in the past. Malaysia is over-preparing, which Anitra is very concerned about, worrying that when things go off Malaysia's script that she'll be thrown off. Marcia mentions she's worried about understanding Charo's accent, but otherwise is very confident. Mistress, on the other hand, is worried that Marcia won't be able to match Charo's energy. Starting the interviews is the Love Connie group, with Selena starting with a sit-down interview. First off, she looks absolutely stunning. Selena struggles with the interview because Love Connie goes on a lot of tangents, which Selena doesn't know where to interject questions after since she has no idea when they will end. This causes her to interrupt Connie as well as leave some dead air when she thinks the tangent is continuing but actually isn't. Lux's interview is next, where the 2 ride around on a golf cart. Lux does a great job of matching Connie's chaotic vibe. She's able to bounce off of Connie relatively well and overall does a solid job. Mistress closes off the Love Connie interview with a cooking segment where the 2 make cakes together. Mistress has a hard time bouncing off of Love Connie, with Sasha mentioning in a confessional that since Mistress can't read Connie, she doesn't know what to say. It doesn't help that Love Connie is basically ignoring all of Mistress's questions, and instead of bouncing off of whatever Connie says, Mistress is just kind of gobsmacked. After the interview, Mistress says that she'll be learning the lip sync since she knows she did a bad job. Our next group is Marcia and Sasha with Charo, starting with Sasha's interview where the 2 make a salad together. Sasha, who is already a fan of Charo, does a solid job. It's obvious at the beginning of the interview that she was a little thrown off by Charo's randomness, but she quickly adapts and even throws out her interview cards to make it more natural. Next is Marcia with a sit-down interview. Anitra says that while watching the interview, she can tell that Marcia is having a hard time understanding Charo's accent, with Marcia having delayed responses and overall having to focus really hard on what Charo is saying. Finally, we have the Frankie Grande group, starting with the sit-down interview with Lucy. Lucy does an outstanding job, not just matching Frankie's energy, but joking back and forth. Overall, solid job. Next is Anitra with a walk-around interview. Anitra does a solid job, bouncing off of Frankie's energy. Sasha mentions that while watching, she was worried about Anitra due to her quiet nature, but was pleasantly surprised that Anitra was able to be more outspoken during the challenge. Finally, we have Malaysia with a cooking interview. Honestly, Frankie carried this interview more than Malaysia, who has trouble bouncing off of Frankie. She struggles with coming up with questions to ask and overall has trouble doing a back and forth with Frankie. After the interview, Malaysia looks downtrodden and mentions that she hopes somebody did worse than her. This episode's runway is Night of 1,000 Beyoncés. We start off with Luxnora London, who looks absolutely sickening. This outfit is not only a great recreation, but looks great on her. She absolutely killed the runway. Mistress is next, representing all of Destiny's Child. I love this look. It is so fun and so creative. I'm honestly shocked none of the other queens thought of bringing Destiny's Child, but it helps this look stand out. It's also a relatively solid recreation of the look, with some alterations done to match Mistress's larger body type but still reflecting the original look. Sienna Estides is next with another camp moment. She's recreating a Grammy look, but instead of holding Grammys, she's holding spray-painted Rupaul Chia Pets. Honestly, I live for the camp of it. Overall, I like this look. No complaints from me. Sasha Colby, more like Sasha Fierce. Sasha comes in looking just like Beyonce. She looks hot as fuck and recreated the look so well. 10s across the board. Marsha comes in and just... no. The dress looks completely different than the reference besides them both being green. The boa is also replaced with a shawl, which is just... why? Marsha herself has mentioned outside the show that this was her least favorite look in her package, and I don't blame her. Anitra comes in looking absolutely stunning. I expected Anitra to wear something similar to Sasha, like a dance outfit, but I was pleasantly surprised. Not only does this look a great recreation, but it also looks great on Anitra. My only gripe is that there isn't as much silver in Anitra's version of the outfit, which I really loved on the original look. Besides that, though, it's stunning. Malaysia is next, and I don't dislike this outfit. I think it's a nice attempt at recreating the original, but I still don't like it. I think hand-drawn seams and creases on an outfit can work, and I've seen it done well, but I just don't like it here. The lines drawn onto the shorts don't seem to have a rhyme or reason. I think they're supposed to resemble ribs, but it just doesn't come across that way at all. Lucy closes off the runway with a recreation of Beyonce's Love on Top outfit, with a supposed pregnancy reveal and everything. This reveal doesn't really come across though, since Lucy doesn't look pregnant at all. Keep a pin on this fact that she doesn't look pregnant. It's going to come up next episode. The queens are judged individually, with the top being Sasha Colby, Lucy LaDuca, and Lux Noir London. The bottom consists of Malaysia Baby Doll Fox, Selena Cities, and Mistress Isabel Brooks. I want to say I understand why a lot of people think Marsha should have been in the bottom for this episode, with her interview seemingly not going well and her runway being not good. Marsha, outside of the show, said that her interview with Charo went a lot better than what was showed, with the two actually having a conversation about Charo's childhood. She even said that based on what was shown, she would have expected to be in the bottom as well. But since that's not what happened, she was safe. So that's why, while I didn't have any positives to say when talking about Marsha's challenge and runway performance this episode, I'm not necessarily opposed to her being safe, especially when the bottoms also did a bad job. Anyway, Sasha's announced as the winner of the challenge. Personally, I would have given the win to Lucy, but I understand the producers were trying to drive Lucy crazy. Also, Sasha's interview had a journey, so her winning, while questionable, makes sense. Plus, it makes up for her not winning the girl group challenge. Anyways, Mistress is announced as safe, leaving Selena and Malaysia to lip-sync to Single Ladies by Beyonce. It's an okay lip-sync. I expected more from Single Ladies since it's such an iconic song, though. This lip-sync was disappointing in that regard. I mean, Selena dances for her life, but some of her moves are a little questionable. She still ate Malaysia up, though. Malaysia tried, but her expressions just weren't giving the right emotion of the song. Overall, kind of a mess. Anyway, Selena is announced as safe. She apologizes to Beyonce, which is really funny following that lip sync. Malaysia is left to be told to sashay away. Episode 11. 2 Queens, 1 Joke. After Malaysia's elimination, the girls sit together where Sasha is congratulated on her 3rd challenge win. Sasha asks how the other girls are feeling, with Lucy admitting that she's surprised she didn't win the challenge. Lux also mentions that she's ready for another win. The next day, the girls enter the workroom and talk about their Beyonce looks from the last episode, with Lucy saying she felt gorgeous in hers, prompting Lux to respond with,
Why weren't you pregnant, though?
Lucy says it was because Beyonce wasn't super pregnant at the time, but Lux retorts that the baby bump was still visible during the performance. Lucy says that she feels that Lux is insulting Beyonce, prompting Lux to say that no, she isn't insulting Beyonce, she's insulting Lucy. Then Lucy says that she wanted to show off Beyonce's body, which Lux agrees that she should be able to do that, but if she's going to be pregnant, then she should be pregnant. This is Baby Bump Gate. Rue enters the workroom, announcing the mini challenge where the girls have to vogue. I'm gonna rush through this since it's pretty quick. Lux does a solid job, Lucy does the cartwheel, Selena rolls on the floor, Marsha dances the house down, but not necessarily voguing. Sasha does some choreography and kills it. Mistress does some reading while voguing, which was funny. Anitra, who's already voted like crazy this season, ends up winning the mini challenge as well as the trophy. Rude then announces the maxi challenge where the girls will be doing stand-up in duos, except one who will be performing by themselves since there's an odd number. The girls are divided randomly, with the groups initially being Sasha and Anitra, Marsha and Mistress, and Lux and Lucy. Selena was the odd one out. Rude gives her the choice to either switch with somebody else or stay by herself. Selena decided to switch with Marsha, joining Mistress and leaving Marsha to perform by herself. Speaking of Selena, she notices that Lux and Lucy are paired together, which she's very excited about since the two had just gone through Baby Bump Gate. Anyway, since Anitra won the mini challenge, she gets to decide the order of the performances. The order she picks starts with Marsha opening, followed by Lux and Lucy, then Sasha and Anitra, ending with Mistress and Selena. Lux and Lucy are working together despite their argument earlier. Lux has decided to work with Lucy since she knows Lucy won't lie to her if one of her jokes are bad. The two immediately start going back and forth, able to read each other freely. They are also both desperate for a win, so they are both going to work hard for it. Marsha is struggling by herself, having nobody to really work off of. It doesn't help that this is a challenge that she's worried about. Sasha and Anitra start to work through what they want to do, but Anitra is unable to work due to having an intense migraine. Anitra ends up having to see a medic in order to get some medicine. Sasha is worried because Anitra isn't able to work with her, and this is a teamwork challenge. The girls meet with Michelle Visage and guest judge Ali Wong in order to practice their sets. Marcia fumbles a bit, but there is some hope. Lex is having an issue with her delivery, with some of her punchlines being lost in the speed of what she's saying. Selena, while telling a funny story, is rambling way too much. It takes her too long to get to the punchline, keeping it from landing. Mistress, who did a solid job, is worried about Selena since they are on the same team. Anitra, after some medication, is ready with Sasha. Anitra's jokes aren't landing at all, leaving her to scrap most of them. While the girls are getting ready to perform, Lex asks Marcia how she's doing working alone. She's worried, saying this was the only challenge she's gotten butterflies in her stomach for. Lex and Lucy try to psych her out, telling Marcia if she bombs, she has nobody to lean on to help her up. Speaking of Marcia, the comedy show starts and she kicks it off. Her set is rough. It didn't land with the audience who wasn't familiar with the inside jokes about the cast and season. It ended up very abruptly and just wasn't good at all. Her audience reaction was just some awkward laughs after what was supposed to be a punchline. Lex and Lucy are next, and they do a solid job. While some of their delivery felt a little overdone and not all their jokes landed, they were still pretty funny. They also bounced off of each other pretty well. Anitra and Sasha are next, and it's rough. I will say the edit did them a little dirty during the section they did about weed. It was really funny to me, especially the forgetful joke, but once the jokes had passed, it went back to being rough. So yeah, 5 seconds of some pretty funny stuff, and the rest was just bad. It feels like forever, and it was just not good. Mistress and Selena are next, and Selena used the critique she got really well, telling her story quickly and with all the punchlines landing. Mistress, on the other hand, has a long delivery and takes a while to get to her point. It's like they had a role reversal. Selena ended up carrying the duo. Next, we have the runway, with the theme being Ripped Her to Shreds. We start off with Marcia, who looks stunning, serving up robbed prom queen realness. I love this look. It's simple, but in the best way possible. I also love the messed up hair. It is such a solid look. Lucy is next, and I get it's supposed to be scary, and don't get me wrong, I am scared, just for the wrong reasons. Like, what is the blush doing? There's also very little shading on the face, making it just look like a white sheet. The outfit is fine, but the makeup is throwing me off. Lex Noir London looks so good here. She's actually referencing a Rupaul look, and executed it really well. This is something I could see somebody wearing at a music festival. Overall, a solid look. Sasha comes in with some patched together denim, and I love it. The stones were such a great touch, adding that extra flair to the outfit. It's a great look. Anitra looks really good, but I'm neutral on this look. While it does execute the runway theme, it also gives the vibe of something she happened to have in her closet that had rips on it. Overall, it looks great, just weak compared to some of the other looks we've already seen so far. Selena as titties. Y'all, I know there's a story to this, but that story does not come across in this outfit at all. The story is sweet, and I think it's great that Selena took inspiration from her mom's story of coming to the US, but that didn't read at all. The first time I saw this, I thought it had to do with paper because of the colors. It's just not a good execution of the idea, and I think it needed some actual rips going through it, messier hair, and maybe some grime on the arms and legs to show that she's been running outside. Mistress is next, and I really like this look. I think the fabric erupting from the holes in the dress adds depth to it. I also like how you can tell the holes are made from something burning them due to the darkening of the fabric. It's a thoughtful touch that could have easily been overlooked. Since there's only 7 girls left, nobody is announced as safe, with everybody being either the top or the bottom. The tops are Lucy LaDuca, Lex Noir London, Mistress Isabel Brooks, and Selena Estides. The bottoms are Sasha Colby, Anitra, and Marcia. I will say that one thing I didn't agree on in the judging was that Michelle said that Marcia needed to come up with a different outfit idea since Lucy did the pageant queen scorn 2 weeks ago during the design challenge. While I understand that Michelle doesn't want to see more of the same, the queens hardly have any time to themselves to work on these things. I doubt Marcia had the material to come together with a completely new look in the week in between both outfits, nor the time in the hotel between shooting. Also, I think that Mistress should have been given negative critiques for there being 4 bottoms instead of 4 tops. But I also agree with the bottom 3, so I won't dwell on it too much. The queens are brought back onto the main stage where Lucy LaDuca and Lex Noir London are both announced as the winner. Out of the bottom 3, Sasha Colby is announced as safe, leaving Marcia, and Anitra to lip-sync for their lives to Boss Bitch by Doja Cat, and lip-sync they did. They were both channeling that boss bitch energy and owning it. Honestly, this lip sync was super even and could have even been a double save if it weren't for the fact that Anitra literally dove over Marcia. Like, full on Free Willy style, just hopped over Marcia while she was doing a backbend. It was crazy. I was at a viewing party and saw it happen live, and so many screams erupted from the bar. You would have thought there was a murder. It was crazy. For a solid 2 weeks, this lip sync was all you would see on Twitter and TikTok. It was that good. Anitra is announced as safe, and sadly, Marcia is told to sashay away. At least she left after giving the most iconic lip sync of the season, probably one of my favorite lip syncs ever. Episode 12, Wig Loose, the Rusical. After Marsha's elimination, the girls talk amongst themselves. Selena is upset that she didn't win the last challenge, saying in a confessional that her and Mistress should have won over Lex and Lucy. Sasha's shaken up from being in the bottom for the first time. The next day in the workroom, Rupaul announces that this week's Masked Challenge is a musical, or Rusical. Wig Loose, so basically Footloose, but instead of dancing being outlawed, it's drag. The girls are told to pick the roles amongst themselves. Lucy really wants the lead role, Heaven Bacon, in order to show the judges that she can carry as the lead. Lex and Selena also want to be Heaven. Lex and Lucy start to argue about it, so Selena takes another role and leaves the two to bicker. The two continue to go back and forth, where Anitra dubs the argument Heaven Gate. Lucy says she wants to be Heaven because the role resonates with her, but Mistress and Lux say that she's lying, saying Lucy only wants to be Heaven because it's the lead role, leading to Mistress telling Lucy that she thinks she isn't being real with everybody, with Lucy responding,
You think I'm not being real right now?
which isn't that funny in context, but for some reason it always makes me laugh. Lucy says that she'll be tucked, but also says she doesn't understand why everybody thinks she wasn't being real when she is. Lux, after this tirade, gives Lucy the role of Heaven, but also steals Selena's role, but they are both playing characters in a duo with each other, so hopefully there's less of an issue. The main reason Lux does this is to show Lucy, as well as everybody else, she can shine no matter what role she's in. Lucy and Selena then discuss how Lucy doesn't understand why Lux and Mistress don't think she's genuine. Selena tells Lucy that she has to be herself, and Lucy realizes that she might be putting up a front since the teasing she's getting from Lux and Mistress is reminding her of the bullying she's received in school, which she has previously had to put up a front for. Now that Lucy has identified where her disingenuine was coming from, she can fix her behavior and be herself and the best competitor she can be. The next day, the girls come together to learn the choreo. Lucy has a bit of issue adding flair to her moves, looking stiff. Anitra has a lot of trouble getting the choreo down, getting really in her head. Selena learns very quickly that she's doing a country number, which she's not very excited about since country isn't in her wheelhouse. Mistress also struggles with the choreo, getting in her head since she knows she isn't good with dancing. The next day, the girls perform Wig Loose for the judges. This was such a solid performance from all of the queens. I obviously can't play the whole thing for y'all here, but I would highly recommend pausing, going to the Drag Race YouTube channel, and watching it for yourself, and then come straight back here. It's honestly one of the best musical challenges Drag Race has done to date, and I honestly couldn't tell you who would be in the bottom. The runway for this episode is Everybody Say Glove. We start off with Lucy LaDuca, and I actually really like this look. It's a classic Lucy look with a bit of horror camp added to it. The gloves are also really cool. Overall, I love it, which I know is unpopular, but screw it. I like it. Anitra is next, and similar to last week, while this look definitely fits the theme, it also just comes off as a look that she just happened to have in her closet that happened to fit the runway theme. Not that it doesn't look good, it really does. I also appreciate that she tried to do something fun with the laser coming off of the gloves, but with the lighting you can barely see it. I wish the producers had turned the runway lights off for a little bit so we could really see them in action. The headpiece is also so cool, something you'd see out of a sci-fi movie. Mistress Isabel Brooks is next, and don't get me wrong, she looks absolutely stunning, but this look doesn't scream gloves to me. I always get it mixed up with her Puffer Please look, since this look screams more puffer than gloves. This outfit is still stunning though, and I saw her perform in this outfit live. I've gotten a face full of the sleeve and almost got knocked out by her tits, so I've definitely seen this outfit up close, and it looks amazing. Luxmore London is next, and I like the idea and execution of using casts as the gloves. They also go really well with the whole punk look. I don't have any complaints. I like it. Selena Cities is next, and just, no. I hate the bodysuits so much. The gloves are cool, but they remind me way too much of the karate gloves from SpongeBob. I don't have much to say about this, except I don't like it. Finally, we have Sasha Colby, who went a different route, and while she isn't wearing any gloves on her hands, she has an outfit made of baseball gloves. I love this, but I wish she had worn one of the baseball gloves on her hand just to pull it together. Plus, when I first saw this outfit, I didn't realize it was made of baseball gloves. I think just wearing one to show that it's the same material would have made that come across a lot better. One of her sleeves is long, so she added the glove to that. I think it would have been like a whole glove arm moment. Besides that, it's really good. During the critiques, Rue asked Lex about Heaven Gate. Lex says that the role was originally hers, but she gave it to Lucy, which is technically true. Rue also asked all the girls who they think should go home and why. Lucy says Selena, since Selena has been in the bottom 3 times. Selena is upset because she knows Lucy doesn't like Mistress or Lux and could have said their names. Anitra also says Selena for the same reason. Mistress says that Sasha should go home since she's the biggest competition. When Lux is asked who should go home and why, she goes down the line, explaining how every queen on stage shows charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. That is until she gets to Lucy, where she just says Lucy is being good at being generic. Selena's next, and she says that first off, the girls that said her name and gave her being in the bottom as a reason why both thought that each time Selena was in the bottom, she should have been in the top. I don't know how valid this is, but still. Selena then says Lucy should go home, so she doesn't think about the future of drag when she sees Lucy. Sasha is last, and she says either Lucy or Lux, since you both have 2 wins and are catching up to her in the competition. Rue announces the winner of the challenge is Anitra. While I don't disagree since everybody did a good job, I would have instead given it to Mistress since she did a really good job as the villain. Still, Anitra did a solid job, and she deserved the win. Lucy and Selena are put in the bottom to lip sync for their lives. I agree with this since their names were said the most during the whole Who Should Go Home Today and Why. But Selena should be in the bottom for that look alone. The song they lip sync to is Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. This is such a bad lip sync. I mean, it's already a bad choice for a lip sync song, but these two do such a bad job with it. Selena does a glove reveal, but it comes in the middle of the song after she's been wearing these goofy ass gloves, and it's taken away from the tone of the song. She should have done the reveal at the beginning. Also, Lucy is a pretty weak lip syncer, so of course she didn't do a good job, but at least she did a better job of capturing the emotion of the song. Anyways, Lucy's announced as safe since this is Selena's 4th time lip syncing. Personally, I would have sent them both home, but only Selena's Cities is told to sashay away. Episode 13, Teacher Makeover. After Selena's elimination, Lex says that on the runway she meant what she said when she said Lucy should go home. Lucy says that she isn't going to cause any drama about it, and she's just going to respectfully disagree. The next day in the workroom, Rue announces the mini-challenge. Girls will be asked questions where they will vote whichever one of the queens there the question most applies to. The queens get points for voting for the majority vote. I won't go into too much detail since it's not that important for the overall episode, but the final question was who do you think is going to go home next, where everybody voted Lucy, even Lucy herself. It was intentional though, since Lucy did this in order to gain a point, which worked out in her favor since it led to her winning the mini-challenge. Rue then announces the maxi-challenge. The girls will be making over teachers, turning them into their drag daughters. Since Lucy won the mini-challenge, she gets to pair the teachers to the other queens. For the most part, Lucy plays pretty fair, except for Lux, who gets a teacher who is a completely different shade and size from her. The girls are really connecting with their teachers for the most part. Lux, though, is having trouble connecting with her teachers since Lux is insanely in her head, focusing on making the looks for her and her teacher rather than connecting. Rue comes in to talk to the girls and their teachers. Rue asks Lucy how she feels about 2 girls saying that she should have gone home last week. Lucy said that although she was surprised by it, she doesn't care. Mistress and Lex don't believe her, with Lex saying in a confessional that Lucy set her up this week in order to spite her for it. The next day, the girls walk the runway with their drag daughters. First up, we have Sasha Colby and Ferocity Colby, who both look stunning. Sasha's pads look a little weird. It gives her a weird body shape, but Ferocity looks stunning, so it doesn't matter that much. Lucy LaDuca and Lala LaDuca are next, and Mama. This was a copy and paste moment. They literally have the same face. I also really like the matching outfits that have the fabric in reverse locations. Overall, really solid. Mistress is next with her teacher, Madame Thang. These two are wearing the same gown but in different colors, and they look really good. I wish they had swapped boas or something to connect the colors to each other. Also, I'm not a fan of how Mistress did Madame Thang's eye and eyebrow makeup. I don't know how to explain it, but the shape Mistress gave them not only makes them look small, but also makes her forehead look bigger. Next up, we have Lux Noir London and Asia Azul. Lux put Asia in a glorified piece of fabric, and honestly, I feel bad for her. Lux is out here serving body and cunt, eating up all the crumbs that Asia's leaving since Lux isn't eating all that much. Also, I think Lux should have added some blue to her outfit in order to connect the two. Since Asia's outfit has pink to connect it to Lux's, it only makes sense that Lux's outfit should have the same. Nitra and Electra close off the runway, matching bodysuits, and they look stunning. Electra's makeup is so nice. Also, the bodysuits they have on have a yin-yang thing going on. Love how one of them has the top circle and the other one has the bottom circle to make the whole symbol, rather than just the whole thing being on both suits. Such a smart detail to have. After the runway, the drag daughters do their own little lip-sync performance before Rue dishes out her critiques. During the judging portion, Rue announces Anitra as a challenge winner, with Lucy and Lux being in the bottom and having to lip-sync. Personally, I would have given the win to Lucy since her daughter was literally a carbon copy of her and put Mistress in the bottom instead. But it's fairly obvious at this point in the competition that the producers didn't want Lucy around any longer. Anyways, Lucy and Lux lip-sync to For the Girls by Haley Kiyoko. Lux knocks it out of the park, literally owning the stage. Lucy attempts a cartwheel. So yeah, after the lip-sync, Lux is announced as safe and Lucy is told to sashay away. Episode 14. Blame It on the Edit. After sending Lucy home, Lex is elated since she came out on top. Mistress feels the same way, happy to see Lucy gone. Anitra is congratulated on her 3rd win, a win that puts her neck and neck with Sasha Colby. The next day in the workroom, Rue comes in and announces the final maxi challenge of the season, a remix of Rue's song Blame It on the Edit, where the girls will be writing and recording their own verses as well as learning choreography for a music video of the remix. Each of the remaining queens will also be doing a tic-tac chit-chat, where the girls will have one-on-one conversations with Michelle Visage and Rupaul. Nitra and Sasha are very confident in writing their songs. Lux is very in her element since she writes music. Lux also feels like she's going to kill the choreo as well. She feels like she's going to kill the challenge overall. She finishes writing her verse early and literally takes a nap in the workroom. We take a break from the room mix to the chick-tack chit-chats, starting with Sasha Colby. Sasha explains her experience in the drag scene, hopping towns until she found LA. Sasha also explains that she felt like she needed to be liked by everybody and was worried throughout the competition that her doing so well would make people dislike her. Sasha also talks about her father and how losing him affected her, how while it was a tragedy, it helped her give a meaning to her life. Anitra is next, and Rupaul quickly makes mention that Anitra out of drag acts completely different, being more shy and introverted than her drag persona seems. Anitra explains that this is because she grew up in Mormonism, which caused her to be more soft-spoken. Michelle Visage brings up the lip sync Anitra did versus Marcia and says it was her favorite lip sync ever. Anitra also goes into how she learned to Vogue, learning from YouTube videos in a dressing room with her drag sister. Next up is Mistress Isabel Brooks. Mistress is asked why she's so outspoken, and she says that she thinks it's important to get out her feelings right away. Mistress also explains that the reason she didn't get along with Lucy was because she didn't feel like Lucy was honest, and Mistress just wants honesty from people. She also shows appreciation for her drag mother, Chevelle Brooks. Finally, Lux comes in for her chit-chat. Lux explains that she went to a performing arts high school. Rue asks Lux how she is able to carry herself with her insane amount of confidence in the world, and she explains that it's a way to slap those in the face to try to drag her down. After the tic-tac chit-chats, we move to the girls learning and shooting the choreo for the Blame It on the Edit music video. Mistress is immediately worried since she knows that she's going to struggle with the choreo. The other girls are already dancers, so she has her work cut out for her. At one point, when receiving a note, she says her outfit is too restricting, but Sasha thinks it's just an excuse to give her more leeway on the choreo. After learning the choreography, the girls immediately have to film it. The first duo to film is Anitra and Lux. Anitra is struggling to remember the choreo and looks frightened and freaked out as she tries to do it. Next up are Mistress and Sasha. Sasha kills it and looks absolutely gorgeous. There's this moment where Sasha is doing her thing where Anitra goes, "Sasha is so hot," and Lux agrees, and then Anitra goes, "Am I a lesbian?" Very relatable content, because I'm a lesbian and I can't look away from her. Mistress, on the other hand, is having a very hard time and is very in her head. The next day, the girls get ready for the runway. They just reminisce on the season as a whole, talking about the dramas and friends they made along the way. Fun stuff, but nothing too important. The runway for this week is Drag Excellence. First up is Anitra. Mama, this is stunning. This is another outfit I've seen in person from the show, and it does not disappoint. It's beautiful, and the suns shine in a perfect way. So stunning. Lux is next, and I really like this outfit. I just wish there were more stones. Like, if the belt was stone, so it's not just a small part of the outfit that's stone, it would just bring it together more. But otherwise, it's a gorgeous outfit. Sasha Colby comes in looking absolutely stunning. I mean, there's nothing to say besides that. I love the 3 armbands she has on, and that headpiece is so unique. She just looks amazing. Finally, we have Mistress, who looks really great. I think it's the weakest of the 4 looks this episode, but it's still good. It's also really impressive, with the cheetah print on the lower half being made out of beads on strings rather than being on the fabric. It's an impressive and gorgeous look. We then get to watch the Blame It on the Edit remix music video, as well as hear the girls' verses. First verse we hear is Anitra's, and this verse is honestly so bad it's good. Stomping on roaches and walking these ducks was so iconic. Also, one of her lyrics is hair flip, but during that part of the music video, she's wearing a cap instead of a wig, so there isn't any hair for her to flip. It's honestly very camp and not good at all. Very let loose. Lux's verse comes up next, and she, to quote her verse, left no crumbs. It's such a good verse, and I love the switch in melody. When I first saw this, it was her verse that I had stuck in my head the entire next week. It's so good. Sasha's verse is also great. She puts on a more gritty voice for it that sounds really good and goes really well with the slower melody she uses. It's so addicting to listen to. Mistress's verse is the final one we hear, and it's really good. It's her basic Drag Race remix rap, but it's still really good, and she has great delivery. I think my favorite part of it was when she rhymed envy me with MVP. It's such a creative rhyme. My only complaint is that the verse might have been a little too fast. Once one lyric ended, I didn't really have time to take it in before the next one was done. I mainly got the last words of each one rather than the full lyric. The rest of the video is really good, but you can see Mistress's face during the group choreo that she isn't really feeling it. Also, at one point during the duo choreo, you can see Anitra mess up a bit. After the video, the queens are given their critiques as well as asked what they would say to their younger selves. Honestly, I'm just going to skip over this since it's mainly the girls talking about how their life is going to be hard, but they just have to be themselves. Not to invalidate their struggles, but all the speeches are just basically the same. Oh, also, Rue says this to Sasha.
Well done, Mama.
Which isn't important, but I just find it funny. During the judges' deliberation, Rue mentions that this season she made it a personal goal to send a girl home every episode. That's why we haven't seen any double saves all season, even though some lip syncs such as Marsha vs. Anitra and Robin vs. Jax could have easily been double saves. After the judges' deliberation, Sasha is announced as the winner. Personally, I would have given it to Lux, but I'm also fine with Sasha winning. Lux is announced as safe, leaving Mistress Isabel Brooks and Anitra to lip sync for their life to When Love Takes Over by David Guetta featuring Kelly Rowland. It's a cute lip sync, but there's not much Mistress can do in a 60-pound gown to a dance song. But this is a problem Drag Race has had for a while during their final runway, a runway where everybody is in gowns, they pick a super dancey song for the final lip sync. The season before, they had two girls doing Telephone by Lady Gaga and Beyonce while they were in gowns, so I'm giving Mistress leeway here because of that. However, Anitra was able to move and dance around because her gown was a two-piece. She took off the skirt and was able to duck walk and dance around the stage while Mistress could just walk around, basically. After the lip sync, Rupaul announces that both Mistress and Anitra are safe and are both making it to the finale, marking not only the first and only double save of the season, but also establishing our top four: Sasha Colby, Lux Noir London, Mistress Isabel Brooks, and Anitra. Episode 15, Reunited. Before we can get to the finale, however, we have to go through the reunion. Honestly, this reunion was really boring with nothing really happening besides the girls just going over stuff that happened in the season, which you already heard from me. The main things to note were at the time of filming the reunion, Lucy LaDuca's song Let Loose from her talent number had become a huge meme in the Drag Race fandom, so they discussed that. They also discussed the current attacks on drag, with numerous states trying to outlaw drag in public areas. Ora Mayari, who is from Nashville where the laws were at their worst, talked in depth about it. The bill outlawing drag in Nashville has been uplifted since it was seen as unconstitutional, but the future of drag is still in the air with discrimination for it still existing. A couple months ago, my friend had her show raided by radical Christians, and since then they've had to hire a security guard for future shows. It was an important conversation that I'm glad they highlighted. The winner of the Golden Boot was also announced. For those who don't know, the Golden Boot is an award given to the girl with the worst look of the season. Selena Estides won the Golden Boot for Metallica's Street Lamp look, and I think that's completely valid. Besides that, there's nothing to really talk about, so instead I'm going to go over each of the queens' looks for the episode, as well as my overall thoughts on each of them, and cap it off with a ranking of each lip sync this season before getting to the finale. For the queens, I'm just going to go in elimination order, starting with Irene Dubois. I like this look, it's really fun. I would have loved to see a skirt coming from the corset instead of the panty, but it's still solid. Anyways, I really liked Irene, and she was really good TV. She made a great impression despite only being there for 1 week. Also, all of her unaired runways were spectacular. She has them all on her Instagram, and I would highly recommend checking them out. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought her back on for another season or All Stars. Next, we have Princess Poppy, who is recreating a look done by Rebecca Glasscock. Honestly, really iconic. She also chose to reference Rebecca Glasscock since she's quit drag, just like Princess Poppy did right after the show. Yeah, Poppy mentioned in the Untucked before she went home that she was about to quit drag before she got on the show, but prolonged her career after she got the call. She doesn't do drag anymore, and instead uses her Instagram as a meme page. At least it's funny. The third queen up is Sugar. Her and Spice did a Lizzie McGuire movie moment, and they both look stunning. Focusing on Sugar right now, I love her so much. I think she's hilarious. I would pay good money just to hear her talk for like hours. Fourth up is Amethyst. I don't really get why we're having an animal moment, but I'm still living for it. I really like Amethyst, and I think she's pretty underrated. Her lip syncs were pretty great, and although her humor wasn't the best at some parts, her smash game was amazing. I think with some more polish, she would do great on All Stars. Also, her music is really fun. Y'all should definitely give it a listen. I'm currently obsessing over her cover of Rock My Body. Next, we have Robin Fierce. She looks so good here. I am living for the latex fantasy. I also love the colors on this wig. Just a solid look. I have a soft spot for Robin. Not only is she a fierce performer, but she's the reason I got into local drag. While the season was airing, she was performing at a local club in my city. I went to it in the viewing party before the show, and it was so much fun. I won a lip sync battle that night that Robin judged and got tickets to come back the next week. It was literally fierce, and I'll always have a spot in my heart for her for that. Also, she just performed the house down. She was wearing stilettos that were so skinny, I don't know how she could walk in them. One of the more underrated performers of the season for sure. She also makes some pretty solid music. Ora Mayari is 6, and she looks really good. I don't really get the thing she has on her leg, but at least there's something there. I never had a solid opinion on Ora while the season was airing. I think she hyped up her talent number way too much, and the performances we saw on the show weren't the best. I haven't had the chance to see her in person though, so I'm waiting until then to really give an opinion on her performance style, or even her as a whole. Jax is next, and I like this look. The shape of the red and black against her coat gives this illusion that her waist looks insanely small. It's so cool. I think Jax is the most underrated performer this season. She turned it out every single lip sync, but nobody ever really talks about it. I've chalked this up mainly to the racism in the fandom, as well as the fact that Anitra was the fan favorite, so she was mainly looked at as a lip sync assassin. No hate to Anitra, she turns it out. I just think some of that attention should go towards Jax as well. I've had some interactions with her on Twitter that were pretty funny. I really want to see her live though. I need her to come to my town soon. Next is Spice, and she looks so good. I love how this dress looks and how the fabric looks like it's dripping off of her. I love Spice on the season, and watching her come into her own was so fun. Just like Sugar, I think she's fun to watch, and I would love to just see her talk. She was such a light on this season, and seeing her and Sugar grow after the show has been so satisfying. Next is Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. I think it would have made more sense if she went an Arctic Fox route since she did a normal fox for her entrance look, but it's still good. Basically her entrance look, but more glammed up. Anyways, Malaysia is another queen I was more so neutral about while the season was airing. I thought she was funny and the drama she brought was entertaining, but besides that, I didn't really have a solid opinion. Well, except the gowns, but besides that. Marsha is next, and she's giving a clueless fantasy. Love this look and the pigtails. Marsha was one I loved as soon as the promo photos dropped. I thought her drag was really cute and I was excited to see her. She didn't disappoint. Marsha was constantly entertaining and a fierce performer. I've seen her live as well, and she gave such a great show. It was so iconic. 10 out of 10 would highly recommend. Selena's next, and I like this. Personally, I would have had the tulle at the bottom be a dark blue rather than pink, but that's just a personal preference. I was pretty neutral on Selena. She had moments where I thought she was funny, like the comedy challenge in her confessionals, and moments where I thought she was being a bit over the top, such as Snatch Game. My mom absolutely loved her though, so bonus points for her. Next is Lucy LaDuca, and I don't really like the coat with this outfit. I feel like the color of the coat clashes with the outfit underneath it. Change the color of it or get rid of it and you have a better outfit. But I had a lot of fun watching Lucy this season. I know she rubbed people the wrong way, but those people just don't appreciate good TV. She was entertaining and brought drama, and that's mainly what I want from Drag Race. Moving on to our top 4, we have Mistress Isabel Brooks. I love this look. I love the branding. I love the colors. I love all of it. Mistress was so fun on the show, and I loved watching her so much. She brought so much entertainment throughout the show and was one of the highlights. I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and she was insanely nice. I made a comment that my Lightning McQueen Crocs were on par with her kitten heels, and she forced us to take a shoe pic. She also almost took me out with her sleeves from her glove look. I would definitely recommend seeing her live. Nitra is next, and she looks stunning. Similar to Selena, I would have loved a darker color, but once again, that's just personal preference. During my first watch of the season, Anitra was definitely my favorite. She really impressed me with her talent show. I took karate for 2 years, and I know how hard it is to break a board, so her to do that, and in heels, iconic. She continued to impress me throughout the season, and she is such a fierce performer. I've also seen her live, and I actually had the opportunity to introduce her for one of her numbers. She was so nice when I met her and gave such a great performance. I'm seeing her again this month, and I couldn't be more excited. Next up, we have Lux Noir London. I love the wig on this outfit. I would have liked to see a dress with a bit more flair to it, but seeing as this is just the reunion and they're just sitting the whole time, I'm not going to put too much on it. Lux was another entertaining character this season. Her confidence was on another level, and it made for some hilarious moments throughout the season. She's constantly impressed me, and I need to see her live. She also has some music out that I would recommend. Finally, we have Sasha Colby, who's wearing a gown version of the look she wore for the lip sync Lollapalooza. The original look already looked great, but this is just so stunning. Ate and left no crumbs. Sasha had high expectations coming from everybody into the season, and I was worried that she wouldn't meet them. Well, not only did she meet them, she ran right through them. I've seen Sasha live, and she's even more gorgeous than she is on screen. I actually had a bit of a gay panic, because, look at her. I'm also seeing her this month, and I hope I can handle it. She's so gorgeous. Before we get to the finale, I'm going to do a quick ranking of each lip sync from the season. I've already given my thoughts on them, so I'm just going to name them in order, starting at the bottom with number 21, Lucy LaDuca versus Selena Estides, Running Up That Hill. Number 20, Selena Estides versus Spice. That's what I want. 19, Sugar versus Spice, You Better Run. 18, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox versus Selena Estides, Single Ladies. 17, Amethyst versus Selena Estides, Queen. 16, Amethyst versus Princess Poppy, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. 15, Amethyst versus Irene Dubois, 7 Rings. 14, Anitra versus Mistress Isabel Brooks, When Love Takes Over. 13, Spice versus Lucy LaDuca, Do You Want to Touch Me? 12, Aura Mayari versus Jack's Sweetest Pie. Number 11, Lucy LaDuca versus Lux Noir London, For the Girls. 10, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox versus Marsha, Boys Don't Cry. Number 9, Jax versus Mistress Isabel Brooks, Tell It to My Heart. Number 8, The Lip Sync for the Crown, which I'm not spoiling just yet. Number 7, Anitra versus Jax, Finally. Number 6, Anitra versus Jax versus Lux Noir London, The Right Stuff. Number 5, Selena Estides versus Lux Noir London, It's All Coming Back to Me Now. 4, Malaysia Baby Doll Fox versus Spice, Don't Go Yet. Number 3, Jax versus Robin Fierce, In Your Room. Number 2, Anitra versus Sasha, In Love with the Monster. Number 1, Anitra versus Marsha, Boss Bitch. Alright, now without further ado, let's get into the finale. Episode 16, Grand Finale. Starting off the grand finale, we have all of the queens of the season showing off their finale finest. First off, we have Irene Dubois, who is serving as Moth Mommy Realness. I can't believe that's a sentence I just said. Anyways, she looks great. Next is Princess Poppy, who is giving us a Regina George moment. This was so iconic of her to do. Even though she was ready to quit drag at this point, she still decided to put effort into a stunning look, and I can appreciate that. Sugar is next, and she's having an angel moment. I'm honestly living for this look. It's so good. I love the wig as well as the flowing cape she has hanging off of her. It would have been so easy to slap a pair of wings onto this, but instead she went with the cape and wing shapes on the shoulders, and I love it. Amethyst is next to the stage, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really like this. I get that it's trying to be Disney Star, but it's just not working. At least the tulle skirt added some flair to it, but once that got ripped off, it's literally just a pink and black bodysuit. Not a fan of the look. Robin Pierce is next, and I love this look. Her mug is stunning, and I love the silhouette on this outfit. The material the dress is made out of shines and looks great. I also love the tulle coming out of the bottom. Overall, a great look. Aura also looks spectacular. She has this giant fan she opens that reveals the phrase, "drag is not a crime." It's a statement piece, and I appreciate it so much. The outfit itself is also spectacular. Next is Jax, and I like this outfit, but I think something either needs to be added or taken away. Like maybe add more to the train or take away the train and add another puffy sleeve. I don't really know how exactly I'd fix it, but it's still a good look. Spice looks so good in this devil outfit. After the season, she changed up her makeup to be more pale in contrast with Sugar's bimbo tan. Spice is going for a double look, and she looks stunning. My only gripe is I wish the pitchfork was longer. It looks like a Party City pitchfork, which if she had just invested in a longer one, not only would it have been more regal, but it would have given her a more commanding presence. Besides that, though, I absolutely love this look. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox is next, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a little confused by the tentacle things going on the outfit. Don't get me wrong, I think it looks great, but just why? I also think they go a little too far on the right shoulder. I do think it's a solid look, though. Marsha is off to the races with her next look. She's serving so hard here and showing her makeup growth as well. I love the big hat she's wearing. Selena Cities is next, and I love this look. It's giving glammed up Sophia the First until she turns around and reveals that the outfit is actually a cake. It's so creative, and I love the reveal. Lucy LaDuca is next, and this look is so cool. I love the exposed brain, and the makeup is so sick. I love the ghostly look of it all. It's like she died and her spirit has been let loose to haunt the mortal plane. Starting off our top four is Anitra. I like this look, but I feel like it's wearing her. The shoulders are way too high, and I want to like this look so bad, but I just think it needed a little bit less fabric to really give what I needed it to give. Luxemore London is next, and I'm not the biggest fan of this one either. I get what she was going for, but the pink tree pieces are too thin and too flat. The pieces on her dress are literally just on the front. I think adding some smaller pieces going up or down the dress would have worked better, or maybe having a shoulder piece with them. Next up is Mistress, and I love this look. The material is so shiny, and the light bounces off of it so well. The gold and red go together great, and the wig is so nice. I love the shape of her gown and the movement it makes as she walks across the stage. Absolutely stunning. Next is Sasha Colby, who's also off to the races and looks spectacular. I love everything about this outfit. It's really giving me if Carmen Sandiego went to a horse race in the best way possible. I just love everything about it. After all the girls show off their looks, Rue performs a song of hers. It's cute. She then announces the rules for the finale. Each of the top four will perform an original song and dance number. Then, based on their performance in the number as well as the season as a whole, the top two will be announced. The top two will then do a final lip sync for the crown, determining the winner for the season. Anitra goes first, performing a song called Lotus. The song itself is fine. It's a good lip sync song and has a good breakdown for Anitra to freestyle for a bit. The number was pretty solid and Anitra did a great job, but there wasn't really a climax to it, plus Anitra seemed a little in her head. There's some context that's super important to this number. This isn't the first time the number was performed. The first time they recorded the number, one of the backup dancers got injured and couldn't perform for the three other numbers. They had to re-choreograph each number to accommodate for the empty spot. While she hasn't spoken on this, probably because of an NDA, the only reason we know this is because it was leaked by some people who were at the finale. It's pretty obvious the whole ordeal got her in her head, especially when performing this number. Also, apparently the injury was during the big stunt of the number, which is why there doesn't seem to be a build-up in the actual number we see. Besides this though, Anitra does a relatively good job, but it was a bit disappointing since we've seen her do better. Also, I just want to say before getting into the next person, after each performance, RuPaul interviews the queens with some basic questions. It's nothing too important, but I will say that each time they ask one of the queens guest questions, they sit them right next to Spice. Spice was serving so hard in that seat the whole episode. There's this queen that co-hosted the viewing party I went to, who was obsessed with Spice and was living for the amount of screen time she got this episode. The next performance comes from Lux Noir London. Lux performs the song It's Giving Fashion. The performance is so fun, with Lux getting carried and flipped over by the dancers at one point. The song itself is also a bop. It's overall a great showing of her personality and character. I will say, and this isn't a note against the performance, but just an observation, but it's really obvious where the injured dancer was supposed to be during certain parts of this number. Just something I noticed, but it's still a great number. Next up is Mistress Isabel Brooks with her song Delusion, a song about drag delusion. It's a fun number, and the song is pretty fun. The split Mistress does while the dancers hold her up was really cool as well. For the most part, though, it was mainly just Mistress strutting around the stage, which worked for the song, but in comparison to the other numbers, just makes it fall to the bottom for me. Mistress did a great job, though. The final number is Sasha Colby's performance of her song Goddess. First off, this song is so catchy. This performance was everything. Sasha comes out looking like a literal snake with this super long tail being carried by the dancers before taking the tail off to reveal a bodysuit. She tears the stage up with her moves. She also incorporated her neck crack from the All Queens Go to Heaven challenge with the choreo, which was so cool. Overall, a solid number, and definitely the best one out of the 4. Rue brings all 4 of the queens back to the stage to announce the top 2 going into the final lip sync for the crown. The queens' names, she says, are Anitra and Sasha Colby. Sadly, this means Lexmore London and Mistress Isabel Brooks have tied for 3rd and 4th place and will be getting the crown. Personally, based off of performances in this episode, I would have put Lex in the top 2, but I understand why Anitra was there. Anitra was a fan favorite all season long and had the 2nd most wins. I'm not surprised nor upset that she's in the top 2. I mean, of course Sasha made it. She has the best track record all season and the best performance this episode. Before we can get to the final lip sync, however, we still have some more time to kill. During this time, we crown the next Miss Congeniality. Miss Congeniality is voted among by all the queens in the season and is the queen that is considered the kindest and nicest out of the cast. Going into the episode and based solely off of the season, everybody in the fandom was expecting it to go to Spice. Surprising to the fans, the title of Miss Congeniality went to Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. People were mainly shocked because Malaysia got into some drama during the season. The queens were the ones to vote for Miss Congeniality, and we don't see everything that happens in and out of the show. So I'm just going to be happy for her. Okay, now we're getting into the final lip sync of the season. Anitra and Sasha are brought back to the stage, which announced they will be lip syncing to Knock on Wood by Amy Stewart. The two stand on stage, looking absolutely stunning, and the music starts. Anitra starts doing her thing while Sasha takes off this giant puffy dress she was wearing to reveal a beautiful sequin gown. Sasha lays on the ground and lip syncs while Anitra continues to dance and stunt around. Sasha then gets up and starts pulling on her corset to the beat of the song until it comes apart, revealing her to be wearing basically nothing but a bikini with titty holes and pasties. Ass, titties, and body are all out. Anitra has a reveal. She's wearing a bodysuit with a heart on it and veins across it. She pulls the heart out and pulls a bunch of red fabric out from behind the heart like she's bleeding out on the stage. It's a badass reveal, and I have no idea where on earth that much fabric could be stored inside that tight-ass costume. Still, she was too far behind Sasha. Plus, we had seen for the most part all of Anitra's tricks before. Sasha brought new stuff to the table and blew everybody away. Rupaul comes out to announce the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. And it's Sasha Colby. I mean, obviously, we went into the season knowing she would win, but she proved herself worthy of that win. She killed it the entire season and in the final lip sync. She deserves it so much. With Sasha being crowned as the winner, that marks the ending of the season. Thank you everybody for watching this video. It took me forever to make. I greatly appreciate any comments as they help me get better at this YouTube stuff as well as show me what y'all are interested in. I'm debating doing another Drag Race video on another season, and if that's what y'all want, comment below. Anyways, feel free to like and subscribe, and Corn out.